Run, Juanito, run. It is midday and you have important business. School is a time for refreshments, for jokes and laughter. It is a time for quietness, for pleasant games and gentle amusements. It is a fine day and school is out. It is a day, Juanito, and you have had your lunch. But your father is hungry. It is for this reason you run, leaving behind the games, the amusements. Run now for the food your mother has prepared. For also may eat and rest and refresh himself. This is the story of Juanito and his father Juan Tomas Garcia, and his mother Maria, his sister Petra, his little brother Jesus, and the baby Conchita. This is the story of a part of the United States, the island of Puerto Rico. The story of the people who live on that island. This is a land where many live by farming, where a man's living comes from tobacco or coffee or citrus or sugar. Whatever the crop, the work is hard.
What the hell? Wait, hold on. Hello everyone. I mean, I'm Charis Euphranor. I'm Charis Euphranor. And I'm the first and last philosophy VTuber, the last random language. We'll get there. We'll get it back. Hello. I think this is this thing on. Hello. I love saying "is this thing on," like ironically, like in a real social setting with people obviously that I have some rapport with. I like to if I'm ignored, my go-to phrase is "hello, is this thing on?" and it always works.
Don't talk too much. Charis Tia is almost done streaming.
That's fine. She can end her stream whenever she wants. Leon, that's okay.
Do it again. You're in your video essay voice.
Am I in my video essay voice? Fuck. No, the thing. Okay, which part of it? Because it was a whole spectrum. It wasn't just like a "what's up, everybody? It's your boy." Like it wasn't that. It was like there was a whole range of emotion there. It was at the beginning.
Charis.
It was like, "Hello.
Welcome back, old man. Glad to see you alive."
Glad to see you live. You. I can't speak. I can't speak.
The chairman.
Oh, okay. No. It's fine. This is just gonna take a moment. This is gonna take a moment. You know what? It was weird because I
TFW, my
live.
first video essay started with "What's up, everybody? It's your boy."
Okay, fine. But to give you grace and fairness, that video was probably many years ago and not like, 24 hours ago, right? Like I'm sure your video was from a time when that was the norm. But hold on, where am I? What the hell was I saying? I booted on my computer and then I was like, I need to stream now. And then I just, for a second, my body, I didn't freeze. No, my body actually did not freeze. My soul froze, I think. Like I turned on my computer and I was clicking through the buttons and I was like, in my head, I asked myself, what am I doing? How do I start the stream? Like, how does that work? And I was like, wait, I have to open Discord. And I opened Discord and I was like, That's not right. I don't need to open Discord for this. Do I? No, I need to tell people I'm streaming on Discord. And I was like, wait a minute. I have a bot that does that for me. And then I was like, wait, so what do I have to do? And then as I was thinking those thoughts in my head, as I was having those thoughts, my body just motioned towards the OBS and then getting the streamer bot up and then getting the VTube Studio up and then plugging my phone in to the thing. And then as I was doing it, I was like, it's like my body was reminding my brain the streaming procedures. Anyways, sorry, I'm back. The negging continues post video. You know what? This is 3 hours of... Okay, it's not negging. It's not going to be 3 hours of negging because I've already gotten all of that out of my system, I'm sure. By the 14th take it took for me to get that monologue. I don't think I got it well too, but you know, it is what it is. Hello.
His brain doesn't remember how things work, but his old body still knows what to do.
It really is like riding a bike, isn't it? So, I am Charis Euphranor. What the hell? What am I saying? Okay, I am Charis Euphranor, the first and last philosopher VTuber, the last librarian of Alexandria. And in today's stream, we are going to cover two main things. One, where the hell was I? Because it's been a whole month. This is the longest stretch of time since you've been on my screen, funny anime VTuber guy. Tell me what happened, right? And then, where's Parrot? Where is Parrot? There he is. I threw him away. Like, I think I threw him into the cage, but I did not stuff his mouth, so he was still speaking. But anyways. So, number one on the agenda is, where did you go? Where did you come from? Second thing on the agenda is me yapping about my big project. It's not that big. It's like, it looks big, but it's not that big, but it is actually the biggest thing ever. In classical Charis Euphranor fashion, that probably wasn't very helpful. But those are the two things in the agenda, okay? That's it. And then maybe at the end we can banter. I don't know if that's a good idea, because this is a stream where I think some people would actually watch expecting to like gain something, and if I just kind of shoot the shit for like 3 hours, which I could, I definitely can do that, but I shouldn't do that. I think that would drive people away, or at least that would not be in everyone's best interest. So we're gonna try to keep things focused and short today is the goal. I know it's been like 8 minutes since the stream started, and you could have said that in like 2 minutes, but you have to understand we're working in the Charis Euphranor time zone, okay?
Where are you catching up on the backlog of Hoyo games?
Dude, I wish I was catching up on the backlog of Hoyo games. I wish I actually took the time and went through all the whole year or two of story worth of story that's in like the 2 Hoyo games that I play right now, but I didn't. That's not what I did. Today we are talking about the Trolley Problem. But actually, we're not talking about the Trolley Problem. But actually, we are talking about the Trolley Problem. That's the vibe
Hello,
of the video. That's the vibe of me. That's me.
Your latest video gave me an existential crisis. How do I make real decisions?
Great question. So, great chat message. You started with a greeting, and then you transitioned into a wonderful comment that was exactly what I had hoped for. Was the reaction to my video, and then you asked me a very important question. That was brilliant. Well done. I don't know why I rated your comments. Like, I don't know why I gave that a rating. I'm not rating everyone's comments, okay? But that was, anyways. So, Hoyo adults, shut up, Tara, shut up. Anyways, okay, we need to get down to business before I get too derailed and people start to like, holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, my mic stand has a cobweb on it. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. Oh my god. Wait, where's the spider? What the fuck? I have a spider? Holy shit, this is a beautiful cobweb. There's a cobweb on like my pop mic filter. Oh my god.
Hasn't posted since the Stone Age, clearly. Charis scream incoming.
I'm not screaming. I react very normally to spiders,
LMAO.
okay? I have a spider. I have a spider. No, okay, I don't know where it is. I don't know where the spider is. I set my pop filter stand, which is basically just a tripod. I set that aside the last time I streamed, and it's been so long that I didn't think. I just took the stand and I placed it in front of my microphone and I clicked go live. I didn't even think to look at the stand until just now, when I like, sometimes I do this thing where I put my arm on the stand.
Dear
and, like,
God, LMAO.
And then when I did it, when I looked at my arm and I was like, holy shit, that's a cobweb. Would you rather know where it is or not? Oh my god! That must be the spider the other day. Holy shit! How long has it been here? I saw like a spider yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? I think it was 2 days ago. It was the size. How big was it? This was like this. It was like 2 thumbs. It was the size of like 2 of my thumbs. It wasn't like huge, but it was big enough that like. It was big enough that I jumped. You check if your wallet has a moth in it. Okay. We're back. Dude, it's actually dust. My entire setup actually is now plagued with dust and cobwebs. That's how long I've been gone for. Well, it was still in my room, and I like. Okay, well, I guess that shows that goes to show off, and I clean my room. Blech. We will get our words back. We will get them back. Okay. What are we doing? We are doing the trolley issue, the trolley problem. So, okay, first, before we do that, I keep forgetting. Before I talk about the trolley problem video, I need to talk about myself. So, and by that I mean, I need to tell you briefly what happened and why I was gone, and, you know, where the hell are you, Charis Euphranor? Are you going to leave us for another month again?
So I
in the
started
future?
watching you before ending stream, and apparently you were hearable on my end screen, haha.
Hello everyone from Tia's channel, hopefully. I'm back. I was gone.
LOL.
I'm back now. I will probably be back for a while. Truthfully, I don't know. Sorry, this is a little difficult. So, okay, so basically, I've been gone for about a month. It's not anything too serious. Yeah, it is. What am I talking about? I was like, don't worry, guys. It's literally nothing. No, no. If it was nothing, I wouldn't not be here for a month. So basically, to keep a very long story short, I've said this on another stream. I've said this in a stream. When was it? It was like the last time I went on like a brief like 1-2 week hiatus. It's not a hiatus. A 1-2 week is not a hiatus. It's like a short break, right? But basically, my mother got diagnosed with cancer. I thought it was stage 1. That was what I said last time I talked about this on stream. We thought it was stage 1. Turns out it is stage 1, but it's also stage 3. Believe it or not, it was a wombo combo. We got hit with a 1-2, right? It is hard to like do things when you have it's hard to do things enough, and then it's even harder to do just the things you like but don't put food on the table, when you then have to take on more things to do because your mom has cancer. So that's where I've been. That's the month, right? That's the long and short of it, right? That's basically all there is to know, right? Well, is she better? Is that why you're back? Yeah, kinda. So past month I've been gone it wasn't the diagnosis happened like a few months ago. So like, you know, there was a time when we knew, and then I talked about it briefly on stream. But the past month has been the 2 big surgeries that we've had to kind of go through, the refractory period from that since, and because it's like, you know, things have a knockdown effect, they tend to influence the other things that are related to the thing. I'm not being very elegant and eloquent with my words today. I think I meant to use the word eloquent, but elegant works as well, I think. Because I spent all of that energy on the trolley video, which we'll get to. But yeah, so it's been a lot of me. So me taking a month off streaming wasn't like, oh, I get to go on, I get to like go on a break as if this were my job and I get to take like a holiday. No. I am more tired than if it were just regularly scheduled streaming. So I didn't get a chance to, you know, I did though. I did get like I got around like 3-4 days to just do non-streaming things that were related to that. No, sorry. Let me rephrase.
Charis has literally been gone for like a month and I'm late. BC I was playing Tomodachi Life SMFH.
Hello, Tomodachi Life player.
Hi guys.
Hello, Mr. Sexy Man. So this, you know, has a knockdown effect. I had to take on a lot more things, do a lot more things in addition to like working my 2 jobs to pay rent. So that's why I was like not streaming. So it's not like I'm refreshed now and ready to go, and you know I'm gonna stream a lot more now, and I'm invigorated. Like, I'm not invigorated. I'm the opposite of invigorated. I'm very tired. I'm extremely exhausted, and I do need a break. And it's weird because streaming is my break. It's just that I know that it's not gonna be my break forever. Like, I'm eventually gonna get really tired. I'm burnt out as well from this, but I guess we'll wait till that time comes. Devigorated? Is that a word? Devigorated. I mean, maybe. It's draining, okay? Anyways, that's why I was gone. That's where I've been. And, you know, that explains the month I've not been here. The second thing I need to explain, I realize, that is not just the video itself, although it's now related to the video, is why the hell it took 6 months. I really did have to go get that position at the Philosophy Factory. That's right, Tara. But, so why did this take 6 months? Now, you watched it. Hopefully everyone here has watched the video. I know it came out literally yesterday. Excuse me, I needed to burp. I know it came out yesterday, so you might not have had the chance to watch it, but you kind of wanted to catch a stream, in which case, hello. Please, actually, should I just watch the video on stream? Should I just watch it on stream anyways? I don't know. Did my homework? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, PK Lucky, for doing your homework. That's good. That was the assigned reading that I just randomly dropped yesterday. I saw it twice? Great. I actually love that, because that tells me that you agree that there is some replay value to it, because I think there is. But I made it, so I'm a little biased. I saw it twice and advertised on my server. I saw you shouting it out on your server, Tia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So why the hell did it take 6 damn months? Well, I mean, one, I'm just like slow. I'm just meticulous and slow. Well, that's just one, right? But really, here's the timeline, right? I was slated to push this out at the end of January. So what happened was, probably December was when I started my ideation. Was it December? I think probably, yeah. December of last year, I started thinking about the Trolley Problem video. I was like, I want to do a video on the Trolley Problem. And this kind of like leaks into seeps into the next thing, which is the Trolley Problem video itself. But I was thinking from day one, I want to do a video on the Trolley Problem, and the twist is it's going to start off as a video about the trolley problem, and it's going to at the end be about Trolley Problem content. Like, it's supposed to get a little meta in a sense, right? It's sort of supposed to get up, it's supposed to grow legs and get up and start walking, if that makes sense. That was, from day one, I knew that was the case. I didn't know how I would get there, but that was my first thought. I was like, I needed to talk about the Trolley Problem, and then I need to step back and talk about Trolley Problem content. I need to talk about talking about the trolley. This was December. January came around, and I'd written most of the script. What I would do is I would go to work, and then I would like, normally during like the breaks, I would like, you know, hang out with my coworkers, and we would just shoot the shit or whatever. We would just have fun, like talking. But like for the few weeks that I was working on this video, I showed up and I sat around, you know, and socialized. At least I was sitting in the same circles, but I was just glued to like my computer, like just typing away. And then, you know, my coworkers would be like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm just And then like my immediate faulty honesty goes, you should tell them what you're doing. You're writing a script for a video. And I was like, I have to explain that I'm writing a script for a video. That implies that I'm making a video, which implies that I'm putting the video somewhere online probably, which implies that I'm doing YouTube to some degree. And I do not want my coworkers to know that I do YouTube to some degree. So while all of those thoughts were running in my head, I was just like, I don't know, I'm just doing research on the trolley problem because I'm a philosophy major. Like, anyways, and they were like, oh cool, like, you know, like when there's 5 people on the track and then there's one person, are you gonna talk about like Kant and like Bentham and deontology and consequentialism? And I was like, you know what, surprisingly, no, I'm not going to talk about those things. You would think that because those are the ideas associated with the trolley problem, but then and then I would keep going and they would lose interest. And I was like, okay, fuck, I gotta rewrite this. I was like, this is boring. I don't think they give a shit at all. God. Hello? Uh-oh. This is my YouTube saying that I'm lagging. What's going on? Uh-oh. Somebody tell me if YouTube is fine. It's showing me that YouTube is shitting itself, but I'm not sure. Okay. Somebody type that I'm fine if I'm fine, please. You're alive? Okay, thank you. Thank you. It was so good. Thank you, fine. Even if it wasn't anti-content, it was good content. It's both.
Only a little.
It is good. It's because it's both, is what I think. Because I made it. Connection's fine. Okay. Thank you. Probably just a bit delayed then. Saw like 3 times. Genuinely, from the that makes me so happy. From the bottom of my heart, that makes me so happy. Because that is the goal. The goal was to create something that's not just that starts off deceptively as content and then evolves beyond content that makes you want to come back to it and pick it apart, which is what we're gonna do this stream. So I hope you're excited for this, because I'm so excited. I am so excited to pick apart my own thing. But okay, what was I? Anyways, I was typing away and I was ranting to my coworkers about how the trolley problem is not actually about the trolley anymore, and they were just like, haha, yeah, that's cool, Charis, sure thing. And I knew at that point I knew I lost them. Anyways, I'd finished up in January. I was supposed to release it. I finished the script around late January. Now that's a bit. Now, those of you in my audience who are a bit more perceptive, or at least, you know, have for some reason a fantastic working memory of my streaming schedules over the past few months, may have noticed that I did a big Trolley Problem collab stream with several other VTubers. They would be Millennium. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. I don't know what the hell. What? What? Ah! Sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, sorry. I did a collab stream with Millennium, with Z, and with Mylan. I don't know why I was just like, I did it with Millennium, and then my brain froze. I was like, what the hell? Who are the other 2 people again? I'm collabing with Z on Saturday, by the way. Don't let her know that I almost forgot what her name was, even though I literally was just talking to her like a few hours ago. I'm sorry, I'm tired, okay? Anyways. That was what happened at the end of January. So when that stream, the week that stream happened, was supposed to be the week the Trolley Problem video came out. Obviously, that's not the case. At that point, I had largely finished. I had almost finished the script. So the idea was already there. I think it had gone through many rewrites, the script, but they were all those rewrites were in the moment. They weren't like it wasn't like I recorded it and thought it wasn't good and had to rewrite the whole thing again. I rewrote minor things during the recording, but yeah. I'll make sure to let her know. No, please, no, my VTuber friends and collaborators. Anyways, what was I saying? Sorry, I need to get through things faster because I know not everyone has all the time in the world. So I'm sorry. You'll just have to give me a second because it's been a while since I've streamed. Yes, so early February was when I was supposed to record it and then release, and I was planning to release it late February. February rolls around. Mid-February is when I finalize the script, when I'm like, okay, it's now perfect. While this is happening, I'm also streaming on this channel, by the way. What was I streaming? I was streaming Valentine's Day themed things, games and anecdotes and chatting streams, etc., etc. And then towards the end of February, I get the notice that I get a notice from my landlord, and it was an eviction letter. So I was like, all right, okay, I guess I gotta deal with that first. It's funny because I remember I recorded the script. I'd recorded once early February, another time middle February, and then once more, I think, when did I get evicted? Was it like March? I think it was March. Once more, was the beginning of March, I think. Yeah, towards the end of February, like 2 days before I was getting evicted, I sat down and I recorded and I screamed my lungs out at the last bit of the monologue, as you could probably tell, thinking, yeah, I'm getting evicted anyways. Look, I don't even care if my neighbors file like a complaint at this point. Like, it doesn't matter to me at all. So I'm just going to give it my all, right? Is what I thought. I recorded it. It took me, I want to say 14 takes to get the last monologue right. So here's my recording process. I sat down and I just read it. And initially I was going to read it line by line and get it perfect line by line. But I realized that's just doesn't work for the natural flow of the conversation. Like it's supposed to feel natural, right? The flow is supposed to seem conversational, at least at the beginning, rather than like rehearsed and theatrical, which is what it kind of evolves into at the end, right? So in the beginning, it's supposed to just sound like I'm just talking. And so I had to do that. I had to just do one take where if I messed up a line, I would go back and redo it, but I wouldn't redo a thing because I felt like there wasn't enough energy or whatever. Like, I wanted it to be just standard video essay voice, if you catch my drift. And then the part where I start meticulously picking apart my tone of voice and my delivery and the structure of it all is, as you can probably tell by now, because now that the video's out, the part where the screen goes white and nothing really happens except for my voice, because at that point, my voice is the central focus of it anymore. Like, the distractions are pulled away, right? So I needed to make sure that bit was perfect. I screamed my lungs out, making sure to get that take right, and I could never get that take right. It was never right. Is he cutting in and out for anyone else? Uh-oh. Hello? Tell me if tell me if this is okay. Stream is lagging. What's happening? Why are my frames dropping? Shit. Okay. Oh my god, I think I know why. Might be because my computer's overheating. It's like 30 degrees or whatever. Okay. I need to get through this quick. So sorry. Is this better? I'm sorry. I think my computer might be overheating. We're on like a time limit. Okay, we're on a time limit. This fusion's gonna run out in 30 minutes, and then we're gonna defuse, and then this it's just gonna end. The stream is just going to end when that happens. Okay, so shit. Yes, I was recording streaming my lungs out at the end of my tenancy, due to being evicted. That's the backdrop of it. I finish it. I record it, I set it aside, I'm done. I'm like, okay, March rolls around, it's time to edit. Oh yeah, it was March. And then we get the diagnosis that my mom has cancer. It was right after I recorded, it was right after I got all the voice files down, and then I was like, oh shit. It wasn't at that point we had it wasn't surgery yet, but it was like, just the early stages of like, okay, what the hell is cancer? What is which part of it? What do we have to do? You're still watchable for now? Okay, thank you. I know you meant that in terms of like the stream quality, but like I like to think that it's also a commentary on my content. Anyways, that was a bit hard because I don't know. It made it really hard to go back to the project to like work on it. One, because I just had more shit to do, but two, it's like it's really weird hearing yourself talk about like this thought experiment, this hypothetical where, you know, in Foot's original paper, right? It's really weird to hear
Is it
yourself.
gonna explode? _cheer, huh?
I hope my computer does not explode. I hope it does not, Estella. If it does, then I'll stream again tomorrow, I guess. I'll try the stream again tomorrow. It's really hard to like work on a project and edit it when you hear yourself just a month ago talking about this hypothetical moral dilemma, right? Where a mother has to deal with a cancerous uterus, when the hypothetical cancerous uterus is no longer hypothetical and is happening in your life. It's really weird. It's a strange, cruel twist of fate. I don't know if it was a twist. Maybe it was always headed there. So that was what made it like really hard to actually go do the video, right? It was, you know, it was just like, because every time I would like boot it up, be like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to just do something else. I'm gonna go like launch Honkai Star Rail or something stupid. So it took a while for me to actually just even approach it. I took the break end of April because I was like, I think I need to spend some time focusing on this, making sure everything's fine. Holy moly, I just got here and hear cancer. Sorry, Estella, you just arrived after my explanation. But to recap, because it's taken me 30 minutes to express ideas that could have been conveyed in like 2. Part of the reason the video took so long was because in the middle of production was when my mom got cancer, or at least got diagnosed. She probably got cancer like a while ago, considering it's like stage 3. It's just that we didn't know, right? But she got diagnosed like in the middle of production of this video, and it was really hard for me to work on this video because in this video I talk prominently about hypotheticals that involve, for example, a mother who has to deal with a cancerous uterus, right? And it's like, it's really hard to talk about a hypothetical cancerous uterus when it's no longer hypothetical. So it was, you know, that a lot of like a lot went into the making of this video. A lot more than needed to be, but I think it sort of decorates it in its own way. Trolley Problem got hands, that's right. Sorry, it's hard because I'm reliving it again. As if it's over now. It's not over, but like, you know. I then, during the 1 month break, was like, I can't wait to go back to streaming again. All throughout the last month, all throughout May, I was like, I can't wait to go back to streaming. I can't wait to go back to streaming. I can't wait to go back to streaming. Every day I'm like, fuck, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And then but then when I lay in bed, the like 2 minutes before I pass out, when I'm on my bed, right? I'm just thinking like, this is normally when I stream. It's like I'm looking at my clock and it's like, it's 9 p.m. and I'm thinking, oh, oh no, I don't. That's gone on for a while. And then eventually I think maybe last week was when I was like, okay, I think we've sort of, the big wave is gone. I think I can come back to streaming a bit now. I thought this last week. I was like, I'm ready to stream next week. And I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm not. The Trolley Problem video is still stuck. And I told myself, I will come back to streaming when I finish the damn video. When I finish the damn Trolley Problem video, I will come back. I will come back and I will do it. And so I did. So I locked in, I sat down, I spent probably 4 days in total. I'd edited the first minute of the video, the MS Paint bit, I think right around February, and then I just sort of stopped, right? And then I came back last week and I sat down cumulatively probably for about, I want to say 40 something hours, just on my laptop editing, putting this video together, and now it's here. So that's the context, that's the background for why I was gone, for so long, what's been going on, why I'm back. And okay, yeah, you might be then wondering, are you gonna go again? I don't know, maybe. Is the honest answer. I cannot tell you in good faith that I know I will stay here for a while, I'll stick around for a while, or I'll be able to stream a long time as usual. There's no usual anymore. Time marches forward. It doesn't go back. And you kind of just have to live with all the things that happen. There's no going back to when they didn't happen. I guess is the only way I can put it. like you don't know this. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure I'm not the only one going through shit. You know what's up, right? Okay, we're done. That's me. I'm gonna hop off my like empathy, my pity train. Okay, yeah. Charis Euphranor, you have a very sad life. Whatever. Tell us about your work of art, please. Which is not related, or is it? Let me get this up. There it is. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love this video. Oh my god, I love this video. Anyways, this is my magnum opus.
One.
Okay, here it is. I haven't really I have not expressed this on this channel yet because I've literally just started streaming. But this is my magnum opus. This is the great work that many artists chase. Where is it? I don't see the tab. Why don't I see the tab?
Trolley Problem video was his white whale.
This is the Trolley Problem video. Okay, we're here now. And I'm not exaggerating, I have thought about every frame of this video. I've thought about every single frame in this video. It needed to be perfect. And by perfect, I mean it needed to be good enough that I would be happy with it being the last thing I ever do. Why does it need to be that good? I don't know. I just sort of, as I was doing it, it's funny because initially I was just like, it's content. I was like, initially in my head, as I was doing this, I was thinking, okay, I'm just writing a video on the trolley problem, and then this is going to be the first in maybe a series where I break down the origins of different thought experiments. You know, where did we get our ideas? Where did they come from? And then as I was doing it, as I was writing the script, I was like, this is the thing that I'm criticizing. I was like, I'm just doing a more sophisticated, elaborate version of this very thing that I'm like, this is gross and disgusting, and it undermines the intellectual pursuits, but because it kind of turns it into chewable, like digestible, munchable, funny content. And the word content, it rang. What's the opposite of, what's the past tense of like ring? It rang. It had. It was ringing in my head as I was writing the script. I finished the script and I was like, that's it. It needs to be not just like, oh, I'm crashing, Charis Euphranor is crashing out, funny VTuber man is crashing out, right? It needs to be a sincere, genuine reflection. Sorry, let me just, like, I'm trying to move the window so that it's like centered. Okay, there we go. It needs to be this earnest, sincere reflection on what I'm doing while I'm doing it, because that's the spirit of the existential, like, themes that come from my channel and my thing. One thing I'll say before we watch it briefly and I start just diving into the specific details of the trolley problem video, is I don't know if, okay, Fi, are you still here? I don't know if Fi's still here. Fi was here a while ago, so I'm gonna credit this to him because I think he was the one who said this to me, and that, like, it lit a fire in my soul what he said. I don't think he meant it, but I think it, like, it did, because Fi said something along the lines of, when we were, this is either on stream or off stream, I don't remember, I think it was on stream. But he was like, You're an artist. This is what he said. He was like, Charis, you're an artist. And I don't think he said this next part, but I think I heard it nonetheless. But you don't have any art. He said like he said something along the lines of you sound like someone who creates art, but I've never actually seen art from you yet. Or it's like, I look forward to seeing the art from you. And this video I realize, fulfills that need. I talk a lot about content making, about philosophy content, about the artistry behind video making to some extent. I talk about the way content affects people, the way you watch certain pieces, the way you watch certain like certain channels, and they inspire you and they make you want, like, they move the soul within you, right? I talk a lot about these things as if I had a lot of experience doing them, but I don't. I don't. I've never actually made my own thing. but I'm talking a lot of shit. Like, I'm talking as if I have. So I realized I need to make at least one thing so I can go tell people that, look, this is the thing I made. This is what lets me speak on the current state of content, right? This is essentially me thinking to myself, okay, sure, I can be Anthony Fantano, but I could be the Anthony Fantano of like philosophy content, or like of just educational content in general, right? But wouldn't it be so much more powerful if Anthony Fantano like dropped like an album and it was like the greatest shit of all time? Wouldn't that give him so much more credit? It's ringed. You wrung laundry? Okay, hold on. I realize that my thing is delayed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My YouTube is not good. My YouTube is dying. It's not receiving enough video. Why is it not receiving enough video? Since when? Why is my computer dying? What's happening? Can I quit things to like... Okay, let me quit Discord. Let me quit this. Can I quit Steam? I'm gonna quit Steam. Okay. 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 Somebody tell me if my computer's back. Shit. Sorry. Hello. 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 Is this thing on? God, I'm
Hello,
sorry.
is this thing on?
What the hell? What's going on? What is that? What is browser? What is that? Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Hello. Sorry. Dude, my legs are soaking, Tara. How did you know? Thank you, Estella, for being a member for 10 months. I forgot to mention this earlier, but thank you, Tyler and all, for being a member for, I think, 3 or 4 months as well. Thank you. I didn't see the message until it popped up past my field of vision, but then whatever. Anyways, okay. Sorry for the delay. If you can watch the stream, then that's fine. I don't know why, but it seems like my chat's really delayed for me today. I think it's probably because my computer is shitting itself. That's fine, as long as you can actually just hear what I'm saying. Thank you, Zero, for being a member for 13 months. Thank you, thank you. We are going to break this down frame by frame. And by frame, I mean not literally frame by frame. I mean, I'm going to play bits of it and I'll talk over it. I think that, is this stream a little self-congratulatory? Yes. But also, I know that if the people who made content I enjoy, if they made a stream breaking down their creative process, I would watch the shit out of that. Okay, I love watching behind the scenes footage and comment and like a director's commentary for, you know, media that I'm passionate about. So if one person out there feels that way about this video that I made, then I'm sure that they'll be happy to see this too. Can't stay, but welcome back. I'll watch the VOD later. See you later, Stella. See you later. This is now the breakdown of the thing I made that I really enjoyed.
See ya, Estella.
The actual origins of the trolley problem. I'm gonna throw Parrot away for this. Get out of here. Okay.
On the busy streets of London. One day, on the busy streets of London, Oxford, philosopher.
Video here is Hand Trolley by. Sorry, the music here is in the video is Hand Trolley by Kevin MacLeod. This was originally going to be Amelia Watson's BGM. Who is Amelia Watson? You may be wondering. My first Oshi, my first VTuber Oshi. The person who introduced me to VTubers probably, or at least got me into VTubers. Well, she didn't introduce me to it. She like, it wasn't like BGM. That is the Amelia Watson BGM. Delays longer than the ISS. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's like that, but that's just how it is. She was 5 minutes behind. Okay. You can do 2 times speed in the stream to catch up on a delay without missing anything. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I have no idea what's going on. So I said that and then I typed that. Let's see how long that took for it to get to you. It's my fault. Okay, it's delayed because for some reason it says my YouTube is not receiving enough encoding. But whatever. It's like you're broadcasting to us from the future. Oh shit. Well, okay. So originally the soundtrack was going to be Amelia Watson's BGM. I decided for it not to be the case last minute because I was like, I think it would be cool to use that soundtrack and it's supposed to evoke that theme, but I wanted to create this cool, funny, like honestly cute Easter egg in the music I use, in the music choice here, by having it be Hand Trolley, Cue Train, Running Errands, Overturn, You Should, and then finally the Studiopolis track. So Trolley Train running over you. I kind of just wanted you to be able to look at the description and go, oh wow, oh that's the music. That's the music. Oh, how did you get music that used these exact words? I went on YouTube Audio Library and I typed those words in and I just kept clicking on everything I saw until it worked for me. So in an alternate universe, you can imagine this bit of the video being Amelia Watson BGM alongside the Microsoft Paint.
Rather than assess the safety of the situation, Foot got to thinking, what if, when redirected, it hit one person instead?
Okay, I'm gonna like mute myself here. This is all MS Paint and it was not done at real-time speed. I think I moved the characters really slowly because I needed to catch the animating of it, if that makes sense. I needed to, so when I drag the image out, it needs to be at a slower speed so that when I do the editing of it, I can speed it up and it won't look weird. Because the reality of it is, like, I'm basically trying to do this elaborate puppet show with Microsoft Paint, and I couldn't do that in real time, so I had to do it in slow-mo and then speed it up in the editing process. It's, I don't know if you can tell, but like, yeah, some of my motions are like when I do this like spin, when I do this spin around the crowd, I'm trying to do it slowly so that it doesn't mess with my editing flow. I don't know if that makes sense. This entire segment is a bullshit story, right? This is
Stepped
the
in and whispered,
internally I called it the bullshit story because that's kind of like what I intro it with, right? Now you know that's a bullshit story, but why does it not contradict any like any of the facts you know about the trolley problem? That's the essence of it, because it obviously sounds bullshit. That was the intent. This first minute is supposed to be like, you're supposed to immediately think with the MS Paint, with the sort of wacky old-timey music. You're supposed to think, something's not right here.
but total stranger at
And then at some point, you're supposed to go, like, Lundoxford is the obvious tell, because it's like, that's not a real place. It's funny because Philippa Foot, she studied in Oxford, I think, but she was born in London, or is it the other way around? But basically, she did not, she sort of existed in both those places, but not at once. She sees a trolley fly by, and then it almost hits someone, and then her first thought is like, what if it hit one person? That is a stupid ass origin story. You guys at that point now. Oh my god. Okay. I think you should watch your stream on YouTube to see just how delayed it is, because it's kind of nuts. Okay, hold on. Where's my stream? Where am I? Honestly, cute Easter egg in the music I use. Oh my god! Having it be hand trolley, cute train, running errands, overturned, you should, and then finally the Studiopolis track. So, trolley train running over you. Okay, it is super delayed. Sorry, I'm just gonna ignore chat for the rest of the stream then. I'll just watch the VOD, see if the video is great. Thank you. I'm sorry the stream's ass. I don't know why the stream's ass. I'm so sorry. What if I restarted my computer? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. You didn't think to do a test stream, Charis? No, I didn't! I thought I would just click go live and everything would be fine. I didn't know. Shit. Whatever. I hope this is a VOD somebody comes back to. Can somebody like I'm gonna timestamp it when I'm done with it. I'm just gonna go like click here to actually hear me talk about the trolley problem, right? This is MS Paint. This is supposed to be bullshit. You're supposed to at some point realize, hang on, this is obviously a fake story. But then you're supposed to think, before I tell you to think that, you're supposed to think, hang on, why I know it doesn't make sense, but why doesn't it make sense? Is it like
Judith Jarvis Thompson gave it a sparkling rebrand.
Gave it a rebrand? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound. If that was all it was like the trolley issue, and then like somebody else just rebranded it as the trolley problem. Then like, you know, hang on. But then you're supposed to dig into your brain and think, I actually don't know anything about the trolley problem. Like all the things I thought I knew, when presented in this way, that where it's technically not contradicting, you know, what you know, but is nonetheless making it really difficult for you to reconcile your knowledge with the way it's being presented here. Like it's sarcastic, right? It sounds like Charis Euphranor is taking the piss. So how come? What's the reason behind this?
And that's
Now it's obvious to you that that was a bullshit story. Yet, despite your intuitions, it likely didn't contradict with your understanding of the topic.
You were supposed to watch the first minute and go, I don't think this is right, but I cannot place my finger on it. I don't know why it's not right. Did you write your captions yourself? Yes. So I put the captions in manually by going to the part of the video, and then every 5 seconds, once I deliver a line, pausing, and then copy and pasting my script and changing the things that I ad-libbed or slightly improv during the performance, and then clicked continue on the video, and then another 4 seconds would happen, and then I would paste the next line in the script. And sometimes if the line was too long, I would have to break the subtitle up into like 2 chunks. That shit took like 3 hours. It took 3 straight hours of just me sitting down and doing it. Honestly, in like the 50 hours it took for me to make this video, the 3 hours on top to make sure the subtitles work, the captions works, though those hours were worth it. It was worth the time.
Everything you knew about the trolley problem seemed to have made its sensible appearance. Except for the fact that both Kant and Bentham were both dead for over 100.
This is the first sound effect, other than the TV static that's transition. I was low-key worried that people's attention span would go away. I was hoping that the intro like animation, the MS Paint animation, coupled with how ridiculous the story was that was being told, would make it so that you would, as a new viewer, you would stay for longer. But I was like, at some point, I was like, I need to add a sound effect in. I need to add a funny sound effect in, so that people will actually stay and watch the video. This is the first sound effect. I was debating whether or not to put another sound effect in earlier, but I was like, no, I need to put it here because it emphasizes the fact that they're dead, and that brings that it carries the message, doesn't it?
100 years before Philippa Foot even came to be.
This is when the music kicks in. The music is supposed to kick in right about now, because this is when I'm going to start to lose you, I think. Like the
And that's how...
Topic. Everything you
the
knew
dry
about the trolley
dialogue
problem
here
seemed to have made it
is only good if your brain is engaged in thinking about the thing I'm presenting to you. If this is just your... In other words, if you are having lunch and you just have this video to the side on a second monitor or on your phone somewhere, you are not locked in. This is boring. This is boring.
Sensible
And because
appearance.
of that, I was like, I need
Except
to,
for the fact
in about 10 seconds, I need to do something funny, or else the people are going to click
that
off.
both Kant and Bentham were both dead for over 100 years.
That's
before
that's supposed to be the funny.
Philippa
And
Foot
then
came to be.
you hear the acoustics. You hear the beat of the first track. That is supposed to signal to you, oh, it's ramping up again, right? The video is about to begin.
Why do the solutions predate the dilemma? Why has nobody bothered to read the original paper?
These are questions that you don't care about. It is framed in a way that sounds interesting to you, but you actually don't care. The trick is, I needed to present this as if this was why you clicked on the video and you were super interested. Like, why did nobody read the original paper? Why do the solutions predate the dilemma? This is not a question you probably asked organically. This is a question I'm trying to take from my brain and plant into yours. Right? You're supposed to follow this breadcrumb trail that I've laid out. Even though it's probably not what you're
That
thinking.
and more make up everything you didn't know about the trolley problem.
And then, like, you're supposed to be wowed by the editing. You're supposed to be like, wow, that's so cool. He aligned, like, the words with the music. And that's how you get people's attention. And I know this because this gets my attention. Like, I'm not saying, like, yes, I've distilled the perfect content slop or whatever for the masses to consume. No. I like this shit, too. I like it when YouTubers edit their titles and their, like, words to music. I love that shit.
The dilemma. Why has nobody bothered to read the original paper? That and more make up everything you didn't know about the trolley problem.
I didn't initially. This bit was blank. I did not put by Charis Euphranor in there. I was just thinking of transitioning to the next screen. I think this was one of the last edits I did for, like, before I moved on to the next section. Okay, so this is section 1. This trolley bit. This trolley bit of animation. This section, the transition between section 1 and 2, is the why are Kant and Bentham dead? Why have they been dead for, like, over 100 years? What's going on? And this is the official, like, quote unquote beginning of the content. This is where it begins. This is the context for the trolley problem.
This is an exciting day.
This
We
is
are
an
going
exciting
to tackle the trolley problem.
We're going to tackle the trolley problem. As you'll notice this on rewatches, but every time I start a new section of the video, I use a clip from, first it's The Good Place, then I use a clip from Mindfield, Vsauce Mindfield. Then I use a clip from the TED Ed video. These are not sources that I inherently dislike. I've never actually watched The Good Place, but I was like thoroughly entertained by it, and from what I understand, it's pretty good. At least it gets people thinking about philosophy in the public sphere. It's pop philosophy, which is something I have my reservations on, but overall, it's a net good. It's a net good in society, right? The Trolley Problem episode from The Good Place, but also just their other episodes. Regardless, they all have one thing in common. They don't actually really talk about the origins of the trolley. They talk about the various thought experiments that have come from it, right? The interesting moral dilemmas. They do their own spin on it. They always intro it with, this is a thought experiment created by British philosopher Philip Foot. And then they move on without considering where it actually came from. And I saw that as the intellectual gap. This is what I saw as the thing that justified, from an academic standpoint, the creation of this video for me. It's so that I could point at this. I could point at The Good Place. I can point at Michael Vsauce's Minefield. I can point at the TED Ed video. I can point at all these educational resources and go, wait a minute. There's something they're not addressing. There's something they're not talking about. The original paper itself. Why are we also hastily sort of just tossing that aside? Why are we just brushing it off? What's going on? That's what we're here to find out.
Let's make one thing clear. Yes, it was about abortion. The trolley problem.
I knew that I conceptualized the title and the thumbnail very early on in the production stage while I was writing my script. I knew that the title was going to be the title thumbnail combo is supposed to give you the following information, or it's supposed to just tell you that the trolley problem was about abortion. If I had to summarize the information that you are presented as the hook, as the bait to this video, right? It would be how many words is this? The trolley problem was about abortion. That's 6 words. The trolley problem, the trolley problem was about abortion. And I knew I needed to express that fact in the title and thumbnail combo. I just wasn't sure how to do it. I sort of settled, I want to say, honestly, a week ago on the exact combination, or at least on the thumbnail. I was I knew the thumbnail needed to be a red arrow, and it needed to say it was about abortion, and it needed to point towards the trolley problem, the classic trolley problem illustration. That's all it needed to do. And then the title is actually currently being A/B tested. I don't know if I should show you this because it might reveal my content, my YouTube thing. But I'm currently A/B testing the title to see which one works. Where is it? I don't know why my Wi-Fi is chugging along like this. Currently, my YouTube is deciding between the actual origins of the trolley problem, everything you didn't know about the trolley problem, and what they don't tell you about the trolley problem. You likely have, if you've gone back to rewatch the video, seen 1 or 2 of these titles and gone, wait, what? Why did the title change? It's because we're doing A/B testing right now. And by we, I mean YouTube is doing it. I don't know exactly how it works. I just know what it does. I don't know how it works. I know what it does. It tests to see, which title works best for people. That's what it does. From her 1967 paper, The Problem of Abortion and the Doctrine of Double Effect. The first thing I, bring to your focus is the fact that this is the title of the paper. And nobody actually, or very few people, mentioned the title in full. In The Good Place, they don't mention it. In Vsauce Minefield, they don't mention it. In the TED Ed video, they don't mention it. Everyone credits Philip Foot. Some of them credit 1967. Nobody reads out the bloody title. Why?
To one Philippa Foot from her 1967 paper, The Problem of Abortion and the Doctrine of the Double Effect, a title you might not have even heard of.
And if I could clock that in you, if you are someone who thinks they know about the trolley problem, you clicked onto this, and I immediately gave you that little factoid, you would go, oh, hold on, wait, this guy's cooking. He just told me something I didn't know. That's awesome. I need him to tell me more things I don't know now, right? That's the hook. I need people to get hooked on that little factoid, right? that it came from a paper about abortion, and the paper title is "The Problem of Abortion and the Doctrine of the Double Effect." I then followed up with the tag, right? I don't know if is that the word, is that the word to use here, because that's like the tag. A tag is a comedy thing, so I don't know if it's, I don't know if what the equivalent is in like content creation, but I follow it with the tag that, you know what, not only do you now know that the paper is called "The Problem of Abortion and the Doctrine of the Double Effect," but now you know why you didn't know it previously. You can be a smug asshole about this. Maybe not an asshole. You can be a smug, smug person walking away from this video and win like an important question, or an important point in a future question in it's at some point in a trivia night somewhere, right? You now know the trolley problem came from an abortion paper, and you know that nobody else knows this because the word abortion is probably not advertiser friendly, so people are not encouraged to actually quote the paper. The overall music design was quite good in the video too. Thank you, Fi. Thank you. I spent a lot of time digging through different tracks in the YouTube audio library for this. SFX and music kicking in Virginia is very H-Bomber, guys. It's very classic video essayist. Yeah, it's very like, I'm trying to channel all the video essays that I know and love. I was doing my best to channel that as I was creating this opening sequence, and like probably the first half of the video, which you could tell. It sort of falls off towards the end, but you'll know why, right? Oh, also, yeah. I can't animate. I have a very low production value of $0 because I'm a brokey and I'm doing all this shit myself, right? I need cool visual flair to keep people engaged, because I knew that if it was just a blank piece of, if it was this paper asset, where is it? If it was just this paper asset, but it was like enlarged to fit the whole screen, but it wasn't moving, you would be so bored visually. Your mind, your eyes need that visual stimulus to get you going. It's why, and Fi, you're here, so you can confirm this for me as well, I'm sure, right? It's why in Fi's videos, for example, and this is just something that it's because I was watching your video today, Fi, on it, and I noticed it consciously. I subconsciously had always known, but like when you go into a video essay, any video essay, right, you'll notice that the background flickers sometimes a little bit between 1 and 2 like between two to 3 frames maybe. That's very intentional, because that way you will know when the video's paused. If I played the video with no audio and nothing visually changed, you might think, uh-oh, hang on, is my computer lagging? Why is the visual stimulus staying the same? And 2, your goopy gamer goblin brain will go, I'm bored now, nothing's happening, and stimulating my brain. Now, I want you to keep that in mind as we go into this. Eventually, when I get into like the 3-minute stretch of just pure white, I'll get to that in a bit. But if I didn't have this backdrop, I wouldn't be able to create that visual stimulus for cheap, basically. Because guess what? I'm stealing the Good Place footage, okay? Like you know what I did? I fucking went on an illegal website and I typed in no, that's not what it is. I went to Google and I typed The Good Place download. no, I typed a mega thread on Google, and I clicked on the r/piracy mega thread, which always shows up because that's the mega thread everyone visits on the internet, and then went through the streaming sites and all the other sites for like direct download, and tried a few of them. Some of them didn't work, some of them worked. Got my Trolley Problem Good Place.mp4 on my computer, and then just slapped that shit on with a filter, with a bloom filter on top. And now all of a sudden, when I'm just saying shit to the microphone and there's no visual stimulus because it's not necessary at the moment, there's still something on the screen that's moving. That keeps your goopy gamer goblin brain occupied. And by your brain, I mean my brain too. Because again, I'm not just someone who now makes videos. I'm someone who watches a lot of them. I know how this works because it works the same way in my brain. I can, and also you will not think to yourself at any point, uh-oh, is the video broken? Is it not working? Unlike this stream. This stream, you're thinking, is this stream broken? What the fuck is happening? Because apparently there's like a 10-minute delay between me acknowledging a chat message and then like, sorry, a chat message showing up and then me acknowledging it on stream. I don't know why there's a 10-minute delay, but it is what it is. It's fine. You don't need to respond to me in real time. Okay, it's less of a conversation, more of a presentation. Okay.
She comes up with so.
This is the most forced fake voice I ever do in this entire video. It's probably the most forced fake voice I've ever done on this channel, maybe.
Of the paper. Explain.
And it's supposed to sound fake because this whole thing is voice acted, right? Like I hope it's not too arrogant and pompous for me to say I would classify this as less just me reading out like a script and more like I'm performing the script. I hope that's not, you know, arrogant. And an overstatement. I hope that rings true to you to some extent. But this bit is supposed to sound forced. It's supposed to sound like, hang on, does he mean that when he says that, or is he just trying to fake that enthusiasm for the video? That's your first clue. This is your first clue.
It's
the delivery, everything before this is like, that feels genuine. This is all genuine Charis Euphranor dialogue. This sentence is supposed to give you is supposed to prime you for what happens next.
A brief rundown of the paper, explain some of its context, lay out her arguments, and honestly, this might be the best part, highlight all the crazy thought experiments that came from the paper. She comes up with so many moral dilemmas in this. The trolley is just one of them. You know, the one where a judge has to choose between executing an innocent man or letting a mob enact vigilante justice. Or the one where some cave divers have to choose between drowning or blowing up their fat friend who's stuck in the entrance with sticks of dynamite. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
There's a little bit of you can hear the enthusiasm in that explanation just now, but it also sounds a little forced, doesn't it? That was the effect I was trying to capture. It's surprisingly I am literally Obama putting the medal around his own neck, right? That's me right now, but I'm going like, it's actually like a really good bit of acting where the slight awkwardness is entirely intentional and supposed to place you as the audience in the mindset of blah. I'm literally just glazing myself. But no, I had to retake so many times. Purely because of the monologue at the end and this line. This line, I needed to get it just right, where it sounds enthusiastic, but it's not too genuinely enthusiastic. There's a little bit of hesitance in the voice. You can hear like just a glimpse of like I don't think he means this. I don't think he wants to do this, but I think he's saying this because he needs to make content. Call me a fish because I fell for that hook hard. Thank you.
Where's some cave
Thank you for falling for the hook, because I'm not saying it was a low quality bait. Okay, this is phenomenal bait. This is Wagyu bait. Okay, this is fucking premium A5 Wagyu bait. The first minute is supposed to be like funny, but also a little introspective, and then after that, for the next like 9 to 10 minutes, right? This is supposed to be content. This, if you just extrapolated this. The tone of the first half of this video, you would not be remiss to think that this is what Charis Euphranor content looks like. And then when you watch the rest of it, you go, oh, I thought I knew what Charis Euphranor content looks like, but I now know what Charis Euphranor content looks like. Anyways,
on abortion. In the mid-20th century, when Foote wrote the paper, debates around abortion were just as littered with confusion and misunderstanding as debates nowadays.
When I wrote this line, when Foote wrote the paper in the mid-20th century, debates around abortion were like just as confusing and, littered with misunderstanding. I knew I wanted to place a funny abortion debate clip right here. I wasn't sure what it would be. And you know what was funny was when I was, editing, I went onto YouTube and I typed in funny abortion debate clip, and all I could find were just Turning Point USA videos. Where it's like Charlie Kirk destroys liberal snowflake. It's like, I can't use this, man. I cannot. This is not going to work for the vibe of the video. And I was like, okay, I cannot just search this right? The search engine has failed me. I need to just remember throughout the history of my being on YouTube and watching abortion debates. I don't do that a lot, so like this is a very limited pool I'm drawing from. What was a moment that I found genuinely hilarious as the comedic break in this segment, right? And then this clip came to mind, and I was like, oh my god, the dolphin clip. That's perfect. The timing is perfect, the delivery is perfect, the way it segments into the rest of this video is brilliant. I need to use that clip. And you know, here it is.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin.
Now, the deepest
So, I was watching this on the Discord. I was in a watch along for the video yesterday on the Discord when I, published it, right? This video. And several people messaged / commented on the fact that the cut is really good. Is I think the exact wording of it. Yes, thank you. This took a while too, because I wasn't sure. It didn't take that long, actually. It didn't take that long. But the initial cut was like, that is a dolphin fetus. But I realized for the rhythm of the joke to land perfectly, and because this might not be the first time you, as the audience, have watched this particular clip, I thought it best to cut out the word fetus, just include the word dolphin, and have the joke carry itself from that.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin.
Now, the deepest source of the
Crinkly paper is an attention hack. Thank you, Five, for confirming. It is such an attention hack. It's so necessary, and like it's very easy to verify this, because all you have to do, not like you, Five, but like all you, the viewer, all you, dear person I'm talking to right now through the screen, all you need to do to verify this is just click on a video that doesn't have the crinkly paper effect, and notice how much more boring the content is. And I kid you not, that shit is real. It is so real. It is actually so much more boring when the screen is static. You need to have something moving, and it is so easy to have crinkly paper because it doesn't change the background too much, but it changes it just enough. The flicker changes it just enough so that you know that it's happening.
The dilemma is the question of unborn rights.
You know that,
when
like,
we think of a
something's
baby about to be born, it seems absurd to think that the next
This is a direct quote lifted from the paper.
Without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin.
Now, the
The deepest source of the dilemma
is the question of
unborn rights. When we think of a baby
seems
about to be born, it seems absurd to think that the next few minutes or hours could make so radical a difference to his status. Yet as we go back in the life of the fetus, we are more and more reluctant to say that this is a human being and must be treated as such. That is a direct quote from the paper, from The Problem of Abortion and the Doctrine of Dole Effect by Philippa Foot. Did you know that? Probably not. Did I think to mention this? I did. Did I decide to mention it? Nah, I thought like I'll just lift what she's saying and then just put it in my script and make it sound like I'm summarizing it, when actually Foot is doing a really good job just expressing that thought. So I just was just like, I'll just use her words. I'll just use her words for this. But I'm not going to quote her in like a nice big fancy like quote passage, because I'm going to do that later for like, I know that I was going to do that later. So here I'm just going to pretend like this is my own script. But it works. It ages really well. It's aged really well, that bit of writing, hasn't it? It doesn't feel too clunky. It feels just right and it presents the problem very, very concisely. Now, this is interesting because you are probably used to seeing animated the right way around, where it's like the baby goes from being a fetus to the baby and then like being born and stuff, right? And when you get to this initial part of this animation, you look at this and you think, oh, I'm watching it evolve. Like I'm watching time go forward, right? Is probably what your mind is subconsciously thinking. And then as the point
Yet as we go back
is illustrated,
in the life of the
yet as we go back in the life of the fetus,
we are more
and more reluctant to say it's a human being. And then as you hear those lines, you see that, oh, wait a minute, this isn't going forwards, this is going backwards.
Status. Yet as we go back in the life of the fetus, we are more and more reluctant to say that this is a human being.
And you're like, oh shit, now it's a fetus. Now it's a fetus. You thought, like, initially you were probably thinking, okay, I'm watching this graphic showing, like, you know, the birth of a human being, which is usually, you know, the forwards. It's usually the chronological, right? This immediately, once you notice that visual thing, you'll hopefully what you think is, wow, that's clever. That helps explain and illuminate the point immediately. And also, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen this animation played backwards. Not this particular one, but like animations that portray like the process of a baby being born.
So what is foot?
Sorry, I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of that visual storytelling. I don't know if you can tell. I love this video. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the work.
Well, she offers no opinions on the issue and makes it clear that she has no intentions to. She saw fit to analyze another aspect of the abortion problem.
So in order for me to avoid comments for the rest of this when I talk about abortion on, but like, what is a human life? I needed to get this out of the gate right now. I knew I needed to get this discussion out the door. No, Foot does not discuss the life threshold issue. Don't ask in your head or in the comments or in any, you know, capacity. But then what is a human life? Or like, oh, I think human life begins here. Or I think... No. That's not the fucking point. That is not the damn point of the video. Stop talking about it. And if I didn't do this, if I didn't highlight it so clearly, I would just get a bunch of angry comments on this video talking about abortion, when although the hook is, wow, the trolley problem is about abortion, my aim wasn't to inspire discussions on abortion. Like, that's not what this video is. I'm not saying it's not worth discussing. I'm just saying that's not what we're talking about today, and I need to steer away from it. Otherwise it's going to take over your brain
Instead,
like that. What
if we have to choose between the life of the mother and the life of the child? In more concrete terms, what if
and then yeah. So this is a
to remove a
graphic for a hysterectomy where you remove a cancerous uterus in order to survive. And it's like a little difficult to watch for me for reasons I mentioned earlier. I've had to watch this 1,000 times in the process of editing it, so I'm desensitized to it by now, but like initially it was really hard to... Part of the reason why it's really hard to do this video was because of this line and this bit.
Cancerous uterus in order to survive, rather than dip into the whole what constitutes human.
So Foot assumes the two human lives are being compared. Yeah, da. And then here's the side note. Hold on.
Side note: this is a technique known as steelman.
I explain steelman. If you are a philosophy student, you don't really need to hear an explanation on steelmanning. But if you're not, it's incredibly helpful because it helps you put into perspective why Foot is doing this. It's not just that Foot is doing this. It's not just to think, oh, Foot is sidestepping the issue by just assuming that they're weighing like two human lives. Okay, cool. But why is she doing it? This is the purpose of the side. If you're a philosophy student, you know immediately right away. Or you're like someone who thinks about arguments and techniques a lot, right? You would think, oh yeah, it's because like, that makes your argument strong. But then to someone who's not very familiar with the rigor in philosophical discourse, the explanation on steelmanning is very helpful. And for those of you who do know what steelmanning is,
you formulate,
or at least for those of you who know what strawmanning is and can infer from your understanding of what strawmanning is, I included a nice little piccolo cutaway
discussion by assuming the straw in order to challenge impressive when you to come up with the most convincing ideas. It's like power scaling. You look a lot more impressive when you take down a stronger argument. It's bonus aura. Anyways.
Okay, I'm sorry because this is a message that's just come out now, even though it was like a point I was making like 5 minutes ago. But Zero, you said Charlie Kirk would have been so funny though. That dolphin clip. Now, the reason why I use this specific cut, because there are multiple cuts for this clip, right? The other person is Charlie. I don't. The other person is Kirk, but you don't know this because the camera is only stationed on the comedian here. I forgot his name, but there are multiple versions of this with different angles that show Charlie's reaction to the dolphin image as well. But I picked this one because I didn't want Charlie's face in the video. Because I was like, if I put his face in the video, people are going to talk about his face in the video, and I don't want that. I feel like that's distracting. So, but if you know, you know. This is actually, he's debating Charlie Kirk in this clip, in this dolphin clip.
Catholics at the time had an interesting take on this. Simply put, they advocated for a blanket ban on most cases of abortion. To deal with the scenarios where the life of the mother had to be weighed against the unborn child, they argued that there was a meaningful moral difference between directly intending for something to happen and merely foreseeing an unintended consequence.
This is the crux of the paper, or at least this is the crux of the explanation for the paper. You need to understand the doctrine of double effect. This is the initial little factoids were the smaller bits of information that were easy to digest, and it's just like fun party trivia, right? Did you know that the trolley problem was actually from a paper about abortion? And did you know that the reason you didn't know that is probably because like the word abortion is not very advertiser friendly? It makes you sound super woke and smart, right? That's easy. This is like hard, because this is an actual philosophical concept that I need to explain to you, the viewer, who is kind of being goopy goblin brained by the visuals right now, right? But like, and potentially watching this on a second monitor. So I wanted to make this as clear as possible, this explanation of the doctrine of double effect.
The distinction, dubbed the double effect, was used to justify things like killing in self-defense.
And to do that, I decided basically to talk about killing in self-defense. And to capsize it with the joke, I hope that's not the only takeaway from this video, is you learning that it's okay to kill people sometimes according to the doctrine of double effect, because like it's more, the paper centers around a critique of this complex idea. So first I needed to tell you what this complex idea is, then I can tell you what Philippa Foot's critique of it is, right?
Imagine if I were to chop you up in a meat grinder. Imagine if there was
Germa reference. Oh my god, it's Germa. Let's go. Germa's my Oshi. Germa's my flesh Oshi, who's Germa and Northern Lion are my flesh Oshis, in case you didn't know. If you are a longtime Charis Euphranor watcher, you probably already do.
was an attacker who was lunging at you.
This initially, I played a clip from John Wick defending himself from people invading his house at original speed. And I realized that it did not work at original speed because it just looked too serious. Like, it looked too cool. It was too awesome. Because John Wick is awesome. I love John Wick. Like, the character, not so much. The character is just whatever. It's just Keanu Reeves, right? It's just Keanu Reeves saying, yeah, like a lot, right? I'm thinking I'm back, right? It's just him doing that. But playing the clip at like 8 times speed or whatever is hilarious. I forget if this is 4 or 8 times speed. This makes it engaging to watch, but also funny. And I need you to be entertained, because this segment is still the entertainment segment. This is still like the, oh, this is a fun video where I'm learning a philosophy fact, but it's super engaging.
Be justified in fighting back,
and just watching him like zoom around
you would be
his house in like 8 times speed is hilarious.
Right to life. What if, in the process, you accidentally kill your assailant?
Yes, I had to time that clip with John Wick firing that bullet onto that dude very consciously, because in the other kills it's clear that he's fighting them in self-defense, right? But then this one clip where he knocks the dude down, and it's like, okay, the dude is incapacitated already, kind of, right? But he's like, this is a very conscious decision of like, I'm icing this guy.
Your assailant.
We're 4 minutes in. I thought we were halfway through. Okay, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love talking about my art too much. I'll get it. I'll go through it. I'll speed up. Okay, we'll speed up.
Well, Doctrine of Double Effect says it's fine, since it wasn't your direct intention to.
And it's funny to like
for them to
justify self-defense.
Attack to stop.
and then
Even
play
if
the
you-
most dramatic interpretation of self-defense possible, which is literally John Wick killing the invaders in his house, right?
Did foresee that swinging a wrench straight into your attacker's head would have killed them. Of course, if there were a way to pacify the attacker without risking your own safety, then surely that would be the preferable option. But in certain situations, killing, at least in the context of self-defense, is okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Please don't let that be the only thing you take away from this video.
Anyways, that's the doctrine of double effect in a nutshell. And some Catholics at the time used this doctrine to support their views on abortion. Like you, Foot also found this doctrine confusing.
Two things here. I don't like the speech bubble effect. The reason I stuck with it is because I couldn't find another way to download another speech bubble effect that was like an animation. That wasn't just like a PNG that was popping onto the screen. And this was the default effect on my Final Cut Pro on my like MacBook, which is where I edit my videos on. I don't really like it. It looks a little just basic, but like it's probably the most unintentionally uncanny thing in this whole video, or uncanny visual effect at least. It's not intentional. This is probably the one flaw I would point out in this entire video. It's this speech bubble right here. I actually think this is a genuine flaw because it's so uncanny that it might actually distract you as the viewer. It might do that. There's no real way of fixing it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the reason why nonetheless I had to stick with this effect is because I needed a speech bubble or a thinking bubble, right? And my computer, my MacBook, for some reason just stopped being able to connect to the internet like halfway through my editing process, so I just sort of needed to live with that. I don't know why. It's actually still broken. My computer's actually still broken. I haven't fixed it yet. I haven't diagnosed the problem either. I've tried terminal pinging and everything. Like, it's weird. Anyways,
And wanted to examine it further.
this needed to be very clear, right? Now that I've explained what the doctrine of double effect is, I need to explain to you, okay, so in the paper, Foot is criticizing the doctrine of double effect. Okay, in the context of abortion. Okay, so now the problem of abortion and the doctrine of double effect, like these words right here, the title of this paper, the problem of abortion and the doctrine of the double effect, is no longer Greek to you. It should not sound Greek anymore. Initially, it should sound like, oh, these are just words. Like these are just words, and these words don't mean anything. Maybe I recognize the word abortion, but nothing else. Now, after having seen the explanation featuring John Wick, you should understand the premise of the paper, right? So it took about 6
To
minutes,
support
but
their
we get the
views on
premise of the
abortion.
paper.
Like you, Foot, she wanted to argue that her arguments for this crescendo into three main scenarios.
I didn't summarize the whole paper. Or maybe I summarized the whole paper, but I summarized what I thought was the main actual takeaway from the paper. Not the trolley, because, you know, we'll get to that. But the three scenarios,
All of which are moral dilemmas in the
that are moral dilemmas in the context of abortion.
context of abortion.
This, I think, is the actual, like, the meat and potatoes from the paper. Like, I think this is the most important bit of the paper.
Three main scenarios, all of which are moral dilemmas in the context of abortion.
In 1967, British philosopher Philippa Foot created a precursor to our self-driving car conundrum. The famous scenario she came up with is known as the trolley problem.
Scenario
Technically not incorrect. I want you to pay attention to the... You probably already have. I want you to pay attention again as I'm talking about it. Michael's words here in this introduction. Technically, everything he's saying is correct.
British philosopher Philippa Foot.
Where is it?
In 1967,
Yep,
British
1967. That's when the paper comes out. Yeah.
philosopher Philippa Foot created
Yep. She was a British philosopher. Yep.
a precursor to our self-driving car conundrum.
She did create a precursor to the self-driving car conundrum that Michael Vsauce-Stevens opened his video with, right?
The famous scenario she came
The precursor, which is the dilemma, right? The runaway tram dilemma.
up with is known as the trolley problem.
The problem, it's known as the trolley problem. That is, I don't know if it's intentional on his part in the process of his recording and like researching, but that is very not wrong. Because if had he said the problem is the trolley problem, or she called it the trolley problem, or she titled it the trolley problem, or she created the trolley problem, then I'd be like, hold on, I've got some beef with this. But technically, due to the way it was worded, I like that Michael Vsauce Stevens is technically not wrong. However, oh my god, it's at 480p. I'm sorry, my stream quality is known for being rubbish. If you're new here, I apologize. Michael Vsauce Stevens is someone I like a lot, but I don't think... No, you know what I think? I think he probably did do his research on the origins of the trolley problem, and he probably encountered the paper, and he probably read it, and it was like, ugh, this is a bit too, like, messy and confusing. I know that it's not originally called the trolley problem, but I do want to credit Philippa Foot, so I'm just going to phrase it this way so that anyone who doesn't know the original paper isn't going to bat an eye, and anyone who does know the original paper is going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Scenario 1.
And as you'll notice with the next, and you'll start to see a pattern, especially for the for the intro of the third chapter, right? But when I intro these with other people's intros of the trolley problem, what I'm doing is I'm reminding you that this trolley problem video is situated in the context of this avalanche of trolley problem content that exists, both the content like on YouTube and TikTok, and I mean, like, you know, in high production, high production value shows. I don't know, not high value, high production value shows like Vsauce's Minefield, like The Good Place, like even an introductory video from TEDx, whatever, right? It is situated in the context of all of these. This is not your first trolley problem video. I hope it's not, at least. I hope that this is your, like, fifth trolley problem video, or like, it's... The idea is everyone knows the trolley problem, but no one knows the trolley problem. And you are supposed to come into this video thinking you know what you know, and then have your knowledge immediately be challenged very quickly, but in a way that is not, like, judgmental, in a way that's fun, in a way that's like, here's some new trivia for you, so the next time you show up to, like, a nerd party, you'll have something interesting to say. Hey, did you know that the trolley problem is actually from a paper about abortion? Right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be framed as.
Nothing can be done to save the life.
And like and introing each section with the introductions that these other, like, big budget shows and YouTube videos, right, is supposed to kind of ground it. It's supposed to ground the trivia, the smugness, in like a, ooh, look at all these famous big creators talking about this problem. Guess what? I know more than them because I now know this factoid from Charis Euphranor. Thank you, Charis Euphranor. You think 6 minutes into the video and like an hour and 30 minutes into the stream explaining the video.
Of both mother and child, but it is possible to save the life of the mother by killing the child. The doctrine would dictate that the act of killing the child to save the mother would be morally impermissible, since, you know, you're directly intending to kill the child. The death of the child is part of the intention. Yet given that the child cannot be saved in any case, it seems sensible to do something to at least save the mother. Better save one than none, right?
Here is where I anticipate some people tuning out if you're not that interested in philosophy. And even if you are, I anticipate a little bit of tuning out. At the first stage, you are probably hooked. You're probably like, wow, I'm learning things, I'm hooked. Here, because it's such a closer analysis of the scenarios that Philippa Foot comes up with, it's a bit boring, isn't it? It's a bit dry. Yes. Was there a way to make this more interesting? In a perfect world, what I would have done is I would have maybe hand animated a bunch of assets and had like a dead mother and a dead child, and maybe like with like a big skull across their face, and then I would do like a weird, wacky visual representation of this dilemma. But like, I just didn't have that time or technical know-how to animate to that extent, and I did not want to do the MS Paint thing again because I felt like the MS Paint thing should just be for the opening. It should just be for the cold opening here.
But argues the Catholic doctrine conflicts with that of most reasonable men.
Also a direct quote from the paper. You probably could tell because I said Foot said this, but I didn't put air quotes next to it, so I don't know, whatever.
Scenario 2. It is possible to save the mother and kill the child, or kill the mother and save the child. If nothing is done, they will both die.
You know what? There's actually nothing interesting to say about this. I've already said my piece. This is the distilled arguments that Philippa Foot makes in her paper, and she references her thought experiments like the runaway trolley, she references the judge case, she references all these when making these scenario arguments. Now, I intentionally don't reference the thought experiments that she relates to these scenarios. These 3 scenarios, she doesn't just argue, she also she argues through the use of the thought experiments she comes up with. I intentionally leave this out of the explanation because you're supposed to read this and think this is kind of boring. At this point, you're watching the video, your brain's sort of tuning out. It's on your second monitor, or you're having your lunch and you're going like, yeah, Philosophy Man is yapping at me. Okay, whatever. I'll listen to him yap. That's fine.
While if
And then there's
nothing
still
is done,
some visual
the mother
stimulus
will
going
die,
on in the
but
background, so
child
you're
can
like,
be
okay,
delivered
it's
safe.
not boring. I like listening to this
action
guy talk, I think. So I'm going to continue.
Taken. 5. Several thousand?
This
Now
is
what if
where
we up
this is where you're supposed to prick your ears up back again.
person to rescue another. Now what if we up the stakes? Kill an innocent person to save 5.
Oh my god, kill an innocent person to save 5? I'm doing like the pog face, I'm doing like the Leonardo DiCaprio like pointing meme, but you can't see that, I just realized, because I'm like a VTuber model, but like trust me and believe me that I was doing that. But you're supposed to like point and go, wait a minute, kill 1 innocent person to save 5 people? That's like the trolley problem. And then you're supposed to think at this point of the video, 9 minutes in, wait a minute, where the fuck is the trolley problem? I was promised trolley problem content. Where's the trolley? Charis Euphranor is explaining this whole paper. Yeah, yada, yada. Doctrine of double effect. Okay, abortion. Yeah, okay. 3 moral scenarios where like a pregnant mother and an unborn child have to be weighed. Sure. Okay, where's the trolley? Where's the trolley? That's what I clicked on this video for. Where's the trolley? Where's the trolley? Where's the trolley? This is supposed to get you into that mindset.
Several thousand? Maybe even the fate of the universe. Well, in the words of Captain America,
we don't trade lives, Vision.
So, I knew I wanted to use that clip from Avengers Infinity War. You will not believe how hard it was to find that clip. It wasn't that hard, but basically it wasn't on YouTube at all. So I had to open up like a probably illegal, very illegal actually, streaming site and then recorded my screen. and then put that in the timeline. I had to slap that into the timeline, that Avengers Infinity War clip. It was harder because I didn't watch the whole movie when I was editing, but I watched like probably 10 minutes, or like I kept scrubbing through the movie trying to look for the part where he says this.
Well, in the words of Captain America,
we don't trade lives, Vision.
So, although these examples
we don't trade lives, Vision. There isn't a good quality version of that on YouTube, so I had to go look for that myself.
Showed some situations where it seemed that the doctrine of double effect was useful, but ultimately advocated for an explanation from the angle of a person's positive and negative duty. That our responsibility to do no evil outweighs our responsibility to help those in need. And that's the whole paper. The problem of
You're supposed to go, oh, okay, cool, I learned about the whole paper then. I learned the problem of abortion and the doctrine of the double effect. Okay. Wait a minute.
Abortion and the doctrine of double effect.
And here it comes.
But now that you know this, a deeper problem emerges. Why didn't you know?
Oh, this is the gotcha. Okay, this is the gotcha.
And the deeper problem emerges.
But now that you know this, a deeper problem emerges. This line, when like, was written very intentionally. You're supposed to think, at this point in time, you're supposed to be primed to think, oh yeah, the deeper problem emerges. Where's the trolley? Right? I clicked on the trolley problem video. I wanted to learn about the trolley problem from Philippa Foot's original paper. And this was going through my head as well when I read the paper for the first time. Because I was like, as I was doing research for this video, I was reading the paper and I was like, oh, cool. Okay, so that's the problem of abortion, the doctrine of double effect. And then I finished reading it. I sat there for a bit. I was like, wait, so where's the trolley problem? I had to like just because I had to, I was processing the arguments. I was trying to see what Foot was saying. I was trying to place it in the context of, 1967 and the abortion debate then. And actually, it just slipped my mind. I was like, wait a minute, where the hell is the trolley? So you're supposed to, at this point in the video, go, where the hell is the trolley, Charis Euphranor? And then I say, but now that you know all of this, a deeper problem emerges. You're supposed to go, oh yeah, I know the deeper problem. The deeper problem is, where's the trolley problem? That's the deeper problem, right?
Why didn't you know this?
What? What do you mean, why didn't you know this? Why does it matter that I didn't know this? Shouldn't the question be like, where's the trolley? And then I start going on this spiel.
The content is heavy, but seems...
The content is actually really interesting, and it's really important that people, learn the original context for the trolley problem, the abortion debate, the doctrine of double effect. These are really important arguments to be had, and things to be thought.
way too important to just toss away for monetizable. It's
and you're like, and then you start, and then I start yammering on. Charis Euphranor starts yammering on. You're like, wait, no. That's not what I want. I want to talk about the trolley problem. And here is when he comes back. Here's when the content comes back, shall we say.
Precise. Who cares? That's not the point of the video.
Who cares? That is not the point of the video. The point of the video is to talk about the trolley problem, right?
Where does the star of the show, the trolley, come in?
I got the inspiration for this section of the video when I literally did this when I was reading the PDF. I clicked Control F and I typed trolley problem like in the original paper, and I was like, where the fuck is it? I don't see it. I thought everyone said that it came from the 1967 paper. Problem of abortion doctrine double effect. Where is it? I'm on the paper now. This is the right PDF, right? It's 6 pages. Where is it? I can't Control F to find it. Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to read it. That was literally my experience reading this paper for the first time. And it goes to show how deep the problem is. The actual problem, not the trolley problem. The problem of like the contentification of your knowledge. Because that is, and by your knowledge, I mean our knowledge, because this shit is affecting me too. Now, oh, and then the music kicks back in. So this is the lull. This sort of lulls you in a bit. This sort of like, you're supposed to start to disassociate in the scenario discussion. And then after this, as I bait you into asking the question in your head, where is the trolley problem? And then give you a different question instead to go down the path of, you're supposed to start to dislike me. You're supposed to like think, oh, I don't know if I like this person. I don't know if I like this video anymore. And then just as it's about to get way too dank, we bring you back. We bring you back with the who cares, where's the trolley? And then we bring you back with the music, okay? Your brain locks back in. There's a little bit here where you lose it, and then it comes back in here.
The trolley in Philippa Foot's original paper wasn't even a trolley.
This is the second, like, mind blow. It's supposed to be like, whoa, what? That's crazy. The trolley problem wasn't even a trolley? Then what the fuck is the trolley problem then? If we all credit it to philosopher Philippa Foot from the 1967 paper. What is it then? Right? This is the second hook. This is the second hook. It's supposed to bring you back in.
It was a runaway tram. And the person making the decision wasn't a random passerby, it was the driver of the trolley. I mean, look at this.
When I got to this moment in the script, or rather when I got to this moment in the paper, when I read that, oh, it's actually in the original thought experiment, you are not the bystander, you are the driver, even though in the depictions of the problem, The Good Place does a pretty good job, by the way, of putting you in the scenario where you're the driver, which is, more accurate and faithful to the original text, by the way. But in most depictions of the problem, you are a passerby, right? You are the person at the lever that's standing observing the trolley going down a path. The driver is actually at least conceptualized as like a variant of the problem. When in the original paper, the passerby is the variant, the driver is the original. But when I got to that point in the Philippa Foot paper, the ending wrote itself. The moment I got to that point in the paper, when I read, oh, the original thing is one where you're the driver, not this passerby, it all clicked into place. I think of that moment as when when Dave Reedon, the writer and creator of the Stanley Parable, my favorite game, as you can tell, it was this is a little inspired by that, right? It's the equivalent of his moment where he was reading the Stanley Parable reviews, and he read a review that was that said something along the lines of, the narrator is going on for a while now, isn't he? He's so boring. Like, why does he keep insulting me? Why does he keep yelling at me? I just wanted to get to the funny jokes. I loved the funny jokes in the Trolley Problem, in the Stanley Parable. So how come, it started getting really deep and philosophical? That's not what I was here for. I wish there was a skip button. When Dave Reedon, like according to him on a stream that he did with his brother Doug, right? It's interesting that he's brothers with Doug. The skip button ending immediately clicked into place the moment he read the words skip button on that review of his game. That eureka moment is what happened to me here. When I read that the original version of the problem is the driver one, not the passerby one, it all clicked into place. I knew exactly what the ending needed to be. The ending needs to be me yelling at you, telling you that you are not a bystander. You are the driver. Not in the trolley, because that's the trolley problem, right? No, I mean in your life. You are not a bystander in your life. You are the driver in your life. When you make every decision you make, the moral dilemmas that you will encounter in your life are not just abstract like things that you keep at arm's length, funny little puzzles to solve, or it's not content. It's not content. It's the foundation of what makes you a human being. It's your ability to choose. It's your ability to make choices in this world. That's what matters. You are not the bystander. You are the driver. And that monologue just wrote itself in my head as I read that part of the paper.
You're not
You're not supposed to be in there. You're supposed to be in there. And then I compare it to the judge case. It's not that important. This is just context for the argument for where it's from. At this point in the video, you're supposed to think, wow, Charis Euphranor is really teaching me these cool facts about the trolley problem. First, you're telling me it came from a paper about abortion. Next, you're telling me that the trolley problem wasn't even a trolley. That shit was a tram. What are you going to tell me next? That she didn't even write the trolley problem, Philippa Foot?
The ontology or
guess what?
Verse exactly where Judith Jarvis Thompson, fat men and surgeons come
So
from.
where did all this talk of Kant and fat men and surgeons come from? Because that's what we know the problem for, right?
I'll tell you exactly where Judith Jarvis Thompson, killing, letting die, and the trolley problem.
1976. Two things in this. One, now you're supposed to, the narrative of the story is like, she's to blame. She took the credit for the trolley problem, even though it was Foot's original idea. And not only that, she changed it beyond recognition. Now, even though we go back and we reference and we cite Philippa Foot, we don't even talk about her problem. We're talking about Judith Jarvis Thompson's problem. Oh. And then you're supposed to kind of see her as the bad guy for a second. That's what's supposed to happen narratively at this point. Now, I made a blunder here. This is a funny blunder that you will only hear in the behind the scenes stream, which I understand is not going well because my fucking my stream rate is dying. My bit rate is dying. Do I do another stream? Should I just stop this and do another? I've been going on strong, trying to maintain it, but I realize it's getting worse. I realize the stream is getting worse. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep going, and if the stream combusts for some reason in the VOD, I'm going to just unlist it and then do another stream, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Anyways, I made a blunder here. In the original script I wrote, I had to cut this out in the editing phase, in post-production, right? I said Judith Jarvis Thompson, Killing, Letting Die, and the Trolley Problem from 1976, and then I said yes, the same year that Philippa Foot wrote her paper. I read 1967, which is the Philippa Foot paper, and then I read 1976 from Thompson, and in my head those two numbers were the same number for some reason, and in my head I was thinking, oh wow, it's interesting that this paper came in the same year. Like, Thompson sure is a quick writer. All this time until I got to post-production, I was like, wait a minute, no, 1976 is not 1967. This shit came out 9 years after, not like in the same year. So I had to cut that line out. That was probably the biggest blunder
From 1976.
in the entire video. Still worked for the rest of the script,
This is the trolley problem.
It's just another cool music beat drop, right? But more importantly, you'll notice the background is white and the text is black. The first two times I do that, it's like the text is white and the background is black, right? Why? This is priming you for that, for the 3 minutes of white screen that you're about to experience at the end. This is priming you for that. This is supposed to prime your mind for this, okay?
This is the trolley problem.
This is the way they introduced the trolley problem in the TED Ed video.
A version of an ethical dilemma that
A version of an ethical dilemma
philosopher Philippa Foot
In that paper,
that philosopher Philippa Foot came up with in 1967 is what they say, right? But at this point, you're supposed to go, oh, wait a minute. Everyone who's actually done the research and presented this information as an educational institution, or as, like, you know, Michael Vsauce Stevens, or, like, you know, as a high quality TV show, they've all done the research, and I think they all know that the complicated origins of the trolley problem. But instead of telling you that where it's from, they just kind of allude to it not being exactly directly Philippa Foot's original brainchild. It's sort of like it kind of came from it. It wasn't quite the exact. They skirt around it because they don't want to say the word abortion. Because if you say the word abortion, like 1,000, like a wave of angry comments will just start spewing facts about the human body and biology and arguments for where life begins. And you don't want that in your media. Why? Because it's, well, who wants that? Who wants that sticky, gross, like, hard to monetize political discourse in your mindless entertainment?
and her extensive body of work on the trolley
And
problem.
you're supposed to at this point go, wow, Charis Euphranor is doing something that no one else wants to do. He's actually talking about the origins of the trolley problem, even though it's a little spicy, it's a little controversial. That's so cool. Wow, this content is amazing. I love this content. I love learning about things that other people don't know because it makes me feel smarter.
That followed, we get the surgeon, the fat man, direct mentions of Kantian ethics, discussions on utility versus rights. The usual suspects. So, Judith Jarvis Thompson is to blame. She must be the reason for all this oversimplified pop philosophy, this TikTokified abstraction, this ridiculous, inconsequential talk of fat men and loops and utilitarianism and...
Oh. It is a coincidence that the way the music worked out was that right as I crescendoed into this bit where she wrote the defense of abortion as well, the beat drop happens, which is pretty cool. So you're being primed right now to think, oh, she's the bad guy. She wrote the fat man and the Kantian ethics bits that like we now know as the trolley problem, but she doesn't really. But then it's not Philippa Foot's original problem of abortion, right? So it's actually Judith Jarvis Thompson's fault that we're not talking about the original trolley problem dilemma or at least the problem it was trying to solve, and she's the one who's abstracting it and then turning it into pop philosophy, turning it into this digestible, easy trivia, right? This whole, like, Kant and Bentham and utilitarianism and all that. It's her fault, and you're supposed to think, wow, she's the bad guy. This is a satisfactory conclusion to the question, how come I didn't know the origins of the trolley problem? And then you're supposed to get another
Utilitarianism, and
you're supposed to get another, like, just I'm thinking of the Morgan Freeman truth nuke gif. You're supposed to go, whoa, this is another plot twist. Thompson is not the bad guy in this story. Thompson is not like someone who loves talking about abstract thought experiments and doesn't actually relate them to real life and is the reason for and precursor to all the trolley content we have now. She wrote A Defense of Abortion. This shit came out 2 years before Roe versus Wade and helped turn the philosophical focus away from the rights of the fetus to the rights of the woman. +1 for feminism.
oh. Thompson discusses the abortion problem.
Is this the Pokemon song? He said brought it together. Okay, first of all, it's not Pokemon. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Second of all, it brings it together at the end. It's not this part. This is not the part yet. This isn't the thing that ties it all together. The thing that ties it all together is Sonic Mania Studiopolis Zone Act 1. It's the final the montage, basically.
Them too. And a whole host of otherworldly issues. And not just in
this is the exact moment the video about the trolley problem becomes a video essay about the trolley. It becomes a video essay about the trolley, and then it becomes a video essay about the origins of the trolley, and then it becomes a video essay about video essays, and then it becomes a video essay on content on the trolley, and then it becomes content. It's beautiful.
In relation to the
evolution
trolley.
of this.
Her paper, A Defense of Abortion, came 2 years before Roe versus Wade, and famously redirected the philosophical focus from the rights of the fetus to the rights of the pregnant woman.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I could go on about her.
And then there's this confession here I start yammering on, right? I keep antagonizing the popularization of the problem. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with everyone knowing what the trolley problem is, even though they don't really know what the origin is? Because, the argument, right, is, well, now people know it's a great way to introduce ethical dilemmas, moral theories. It's a great tool for learning, for 101s, for classrooms, for lecture halls, for philosophy, for psychology. It's interesting. People think about it a lot. Yeah, that's not the problem. That's actually good. It doesn't matter that Bentham and Kant weren't in the original paper, in the sense that, and I get into the
Kant
later,
weren't
right?
in the original paper. What matters is that the trolley problem is a tool for learning. It delivers moral theories in a digestible manner.
Here, the TED Ed video is still playing in the background. Watch where it transitions.
Albeit watered down, the contemporary popular use cases aren't far off from Judith's version of the problem in the first place.
This is the argument for why it's okay that the trolley problem is popular, basically. And I think it's a pretty good argument. I don't think it's a bad argument. Again, I'm trying to steelman this, right? And this is the moment, the 14 minutes in the video, this is the moment when the screen goes to white. And it's a little unnatural. I couldn't get, this is probably flaw number 2 of this video, right?
Use cases
I blurred the whole video out so that, sorry, the video in the background, so I don't get copy struck, right? When the colors are sliding across the screen here, the line is blurry. I was trying to recreate that effect in my editing software, but I couldn't. Because otherwise,
far off from Judith's version of the problem in the first place. That's what this.
Because otherwise, this line would be blurry too. I just couldn't do it though. I couldn't find a way to blur this line so that it looked like it was still a part of that TED Ed video in the background. But I feel like it was smooth enough anyways that you don't notice the first time around. And I kind of like it this way too. I like it this way because on a rewatch, it's very noticeable that this is where the background stimulus ends, basically. Right?
That's what all of this is. Learning. You are.
This is when I start yelling at you.
Are learning. Did you learn something today? Anything?
This is when I start ranting. And it's pretty long. It's 14 minutes to like 17, right? Yeah, 17 and a half. It's 3.5 minutes of me just yelling at you. And I wanted you to know that this shit is intentional. that like this white screen with literally nothing on it is not because I forgot to edit the video, because I've been doing excellent editing throughout the video, right? Excellent sources of movement, visual stimulus. How come all of a sudden it's just white now? Well, it's because I'm like yelling at you and I want you to actually focus on the voice. And you're supposed to feel a bit discomforted by this. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to be like,
Why
ew,
did
what the
you
hell?
click on this video? Was it this promise of new information? Well, the title says it all. That's the fun fact. The original thought experiment came from a paper that discussed abortion. It's a bit shocking, but then so what? I framed this as some sort of you could have
Yeah, whatever, Charis Euphranor.
Hell,
And
you could have
here,
clicked on
when I get a bit spiteful and I go, why the hell are you watching this video? You could just watch all the other videos about the trolley problem, and they all mention this factoid. They mentioned that philosopher Philippa Foot's original paper was about abortion. They mention it and then they kind of wave it away, right? They mention it as like, by the way, this is the fun fact, and then they move on to the other parts of their
on any one of these
video
better
essay.
research.
And the video essays are not bad. They actually think they're pretty good. So I don't say it with any irony here or like to be like sarcastic, right? I do mean that I think these are better research written and edited videos done by more famous people to the tune of tens of thousands of views, except Axe's. Hello, Axe. Hello, this is Axion from Philosophy. I had to sneak him. I wanted to sneak him in there. I wanted to put Axe in the video somewhere, and I was like, okay, this is the perfect place to put him.
Written and edited videos here.
This bit of visual stimulus is all you get for this whole monologue, right? And it's supposed the main purpose of it is it's supposed to be a reminder, or like what it's visually saying, what it's visually telling you is, I didn't forget to edit this part of the video. It's not like a blunder. I'm intending for this part of this video to be just a white screen and nothing else. It is meant to be like that. Because if I wanted to edit something visual here, I could easily do it. And there's this welcome reprieve, right? This moment where you're like, I'm sorry, I'm reading comments that are coming to me now that I realize you're only going to hear in like 10 minutes. I'm sorry the stream's bad. I'm sorry the stream's bad. I'm sorry, okay? Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. So in this 3-minute monologue, you're supposed to feel like it's insufferable. You're supposed to feel like you're not having a good time. The first 10 minutes, you're like, that's awesome. There's a little bit of a dip at like the 9-minute mark. You're like, ooh, it's a little boring. But there's still visual stimulus going on. It's okay. Oh, okay, we're back. We're back in this awesome, like 10, 11 minute. We're back in this awesome uncovering of the truth of the trolley problem, like narrative. This, which is priming you for the 3 minutes here. At this point, you want to click off because you want to say, you don't want to admit it, but you're bored. You are visually understimulated. You want something moving in the background, and it doesn't actually matter what the person is saying because you just want noise. You just want background noise. You just want content. And I know this. I know that's what you want, which is why this 3.5-minute monologue here is dedicated to directly attacking this intuition that you are feeling right now. This is no longer about the trolley. This is about you. I'm talking about you. I am talking to you. This is supposed to feel very surreal and uncomfortable. And if you're into this, you're really into this. If you are not into this, you are extremely discomforted and you're like, I actually just wish this part of the video would end so I can get to like the content
here that all mention this little factoid. And you're here disappointed from not having learnt anything new.
Okay, this whole monologue goes on for a bit. I don't know if I want to play the whole thing. I'll play the whole thing, but before I do that, I'll just tell you, right? This is where the part where the screen goes white is all in one take. Part where the screen goes white, right here, right? This is one take. This is all one take. I needed to escalate it from just a questioning of like, why are you here? Why am I here? What are we doing? What is this trolley problem thing? I needed to escalate that from just a sort of passive introspection to like an active, like I'm yelling at you and I'm seriously having a crisis and a meltdown over what I'm doing right now. Like, what the fuck am I doing right now? What are you doing now? What are we doing now? What is this? It needs to ramp up to that energy, and it needs to end abruptly through the crash of the train, right? And there are many takes where I started off just angry for the whole thing, and that did not work. Like, I could not have started off just
That's what
angry.
all of this is. Learn.
I'm a little pissed off here. Like, that's
You
what this is.
are
You are
learning.
learning.
Did you
learn something today? It's supposed to be. This is like maybe 70% energy. I need to end at 100, but I can't start and end at 100, right? And this needs to be like 70, 80%. I need to, like, the energy level needs to keep gradually increasing, so that it crescendos into that climax, right?
You could have typed in.
That took many takes, 14 to be exact. And after the 14th take, it still wasn't right. This is the last take, by the way. This is the 14th take. It still didn't feel right. Especially when I was analyzing, my footage in post-production. But after the 14th take, I said, all right, let's go again. That wasn't very good. Let's try it again. I'm going to do the 15th take. And I got to the microphone and I sat down and I started going on the monologue again. I realized I'm out of breath. Like, halfway, like I probably said 2 more lines, and then I just, like, my vocal cords like ran out. I was gasping for air. I was like, hold on, I can't. I'm actually sweating. This was like winter, no, it's not winter. This was like January, February, right? This isn't the 30-degree summer heat in the UK that I'm currently experiencing. But this was back when it was cold, and I was sweating. I was sweating. I was stinky. I needed a shower. I was out of breath. I did not have in me any more energy for another take. And that exasperation was perfect. It was imperfect and it was perfect. It was perfect because it was flawed. It was perfect because it wasn't the best take, but it was the last take. And I thought that was good. I thought that was actually the spirit of the monologue. This is not supposed to be the best rant that I ever go on. This is supposed to be the most, energetic crash out ever, because that's what makes it entertainment, right? But I'm not, at this point of the video, I'm no longer trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to make a point. I'm not trying to be interesting anymore. I'm just trying to say something that's real. And so I felt that rather than go for the most dramatic, perfect take that crescendos excellently and has perfect voice control, I'm going to do the take that literally was the last bit of my, like, breath. That it needed to be that take.
Originally didn't realize that you would. Need to know is that you didn't know that the trolley problem was about abortion for one good reason. Because it didn't matter. All you really need to know is that if you pull the lever, you're a consequentialist, and if you don't pull it, you're a deontologist. There. You either don't need to know anything else, or you're an ethicist. And
I'm mad. I'm so mad when I say this, right? When I said this line, obviously. When I wrote this line, I was upset. Not just because most people only know the trolley problem as, like, if you pull the lever, you care about the consequences because you're prioritizing 5 lives. And if you don't pull, you're saying the action of me pulling is killing 1 person, therefore deontology says bad. Not only is this frustration from the fact that most people only know this. This frustration also comes from the fact that I only knew these things before I started researching for this video. Before I started researching really in depth into the trolley problem, genuinely, as someone who has a master's degree in philosophy, all I knew about granted I wasn't doing it in ethics, right? But still, like, I still had to take some like courses in ethics. All I knew about the trolley problem was Kant, Bentham, consequentialism, deontology, utilitarianism is when maximum happiness, utility. That's it from the trolley problem. That's all I knew. That's all the professors at my, institutions, because I went and got a master's degree in addition to my undergrad degree. That's all they bothered to tell me. That's all they bothered to tell me. They didn't think it was important that I should know that this problem comes from a paper that discusses abortion? Nobody thought to tell me? I paid all this fucking money to go to school, to go to undergrad and then go to postgrad and then get a master's degree in this godforsaken subject that's not going to get me a job. Trust me, this shit did not get me a job. I did all of that and they didn't even bother to tell me where the original trolley problem came from. I'm upset because I didn't know this. It's not just that you didn't know this. If you didn't know this, yeah, it's a little, superficial. But like, you're not a philosophy major. You're not expected to know this. I've been doing philosophy content. I've never actually been doing philosophy content, but I have been, I've been calling myself the philosophy VTuber for a year and a half at this point, at the time of writing this script, right? And I didn't know that that's where the trolley problem came from. I'm upset. I'm so upset. I'm upset because I'm like, what am I doing? Am I a failure? How did I not know this? Anyways.
In which case, you already do. So, what will you do now with this fun fact?
And then now I know this. Now I know that there was where the trolley problem came from. Why do I know this? I know this because I set out to make content. I set out as a YouTuber with no subscribers, wanting to make a splash into the video essay scene. I set out to do that. That's the only reason why I know where the trolley problem comes from. That is the only reason. It's because I was trying to make content. I'm not just mad at you. I'm yelling at you, right? Obviously, in the video, I'm yelling at you. But I'm mad at myself because I am contributing. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the fucking problem. I am the issue. I am the T. I am partly responsible for this plague of consumerist, market-based knowledge and information on the internet. I am contributing to this by making this video on the trolley problem and highlighting the actual origins of it, not for any intellectual pursuits, not for, at least primarily, my academic integrity. No, I'm doing this shit for content. Ultimately, I wanted to make content. I'm so mad.
Neat piece of trivia. The trolley problem was about abortion. Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares if the trolley problem was about abortion? The only reason I cared is because I realized, I can make a video out of this. That's the only reason I ever cared. It was because I was so content brained. I was like, I'm gonna make content out of this new factoid I learned, so other people can smugly walk around in pubs and bars and go, "Did you know that the trolley problem came from a paper about abortion?" In my effort to criticize the problem, I'm actually contributing to it. That's the crash out. The essence of the crash out at the end is it's not just because I'm mad at you. I am, by the way, very upset, even though I don't know you personally, but know that I'm very upset for some reason, even though I don't know you personally. It's because I'm mad at myself. I'm angry at the world. I'm angry at the state of the world, the state of of the algorithm and content and all this shit. I'm so upset because it's not only making you do shit that is bad for you, it's making me do shit that's bad for you.
Why does it matter where things come from? We should just take them and co-opt them into whatever agenda we desire. You are not a learner, you are a consumer of information. You look at the supermarket shelf of YouTube videos and go, "Ooh, this thumbnail has a face in it and a red arrow. This one seems boring. Oh, this is the 30-minute video essay that the guy on Twitter was talking about. Now I can finally have my lunch." You are a customer whose knowledge has been entirely determined by market demand, a victim of the algorithm. And the worst part is, so am I. I didn't know any of this, and I probably wouldn't have if it weren't for the fact that I wanted to make my own spin on the trolley problem, to make more content. That's what people want. That's all this is. Content. When this video's over, you'll get 3 to 6 more recommended to you.
This line, I hope it echoes in your soul. I hope this line echoes in your soul because it's so powerful when you remember this line at the end.
Content.
That's all this is. It's content. When this video is over, You'll
This
get
video's
3 to
over.
6
You'll
more
get 3 to
recommended
6
you,
more.
and you're gonna look at the thumbnails, you're gonna look at the titles, and you're gonna go, ooh, I like this one. I'm gonna click on that one. I'm gonna like I'm gonna click on this. It's a 20-minute video. I can go have my lunch. I want you, and then like because I'm now verbally assaulting you by telling you that this is what you're going to do. When you get to the actual end of the video, and like the screen goes black and the music stops, and you're so uncomfortable, you're so torn away from the experience of this video, what happens? YouTube immediately tries to serve you 3 more videos, 6 more videos, just content. Click on these ones. That's what YouTube's trying to do, right? Like YouTube's trying to do to you. And this line is supposed to echo in your soul as the video reaches its end, and you're supposed to go, holy shit, what am I doing with my life? And if I was able to achieve that in you, I thank you. I'm so happy. I am so happy, because that is not an easy thing to achieve. I'll talk about it more when we finally actually get to the end of the video. But when I was making this, and now that it's done and dusted, it's over, I realized one thing. I can't do another video like this. There's not going to be anything quite like this, which is why I'm gonna spend all of today talking about this video, is because I'm never going to be able to make something like this again. If I make something else, it's going to be an entirely different thing. It cannot be the same. I can't rehash the same thing anymore. It has to be very wholly different because of how intentional all of these moving parts is, that if I were to make another thing that's even just a little bit like this video, it would undermine the value of this video. Like, it would undermine everything in this if I made more content. If I made more philosophy content, it would undermine the whole point of this 3.5-minute rant on a white screen. And by the way, most people probably watched with subtitles, right? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine watching this with subtitles off, where it's like genuinely just the words aren't even on the screen? You're hearing the words and you're just being yelled at. It's so uncomfortable. You're being yelled at, and it's just a white background.
Recommended to you to placate your never-ending hunger for pre-digested trivia. You will examine them each, floating towards the eye-catching thumbnails coupled with the most enticing titles. Maybe you'll click on the one that says reacting to more Trolley Problem memes because it's made by a recognizable face with 2 million subscribers. Or
like when you're dissociating so hard right now, if you don't have the subtitles on, the closed captions, you are probably going like, what the hell is he saying? I don't know. I just know that he's yelling at me. And that's fair, because that is the intended effect.
Maybe you'll click on the 2-hour-long video.
If you have subtitles on, it's a little different. And I tried not. Initially, I was thinking one of the reasons. Sorry, no, not the reasons. One of the things I was thinking when I was subtitling this whole video was to intentionally leave this white part empty. But I realized for accessibility reasons, it's not a good idea. I wanted you to really try to listen to the words rather than to read the words, because then you have to put an active effort into listening, right? But I realized, like, some people are just hard of hearing. Not that they're completely deaf, right? But they don't hear very well. I also recognize that some people are not very good at, like, hearing words and translating those words into ideas. Like, so the rapid spew of information here is probably, like, too much. And subtitles actually help you process what's being said and what's happening. So recognizing this and knowing this, I decided at the end to leave subtitles anyways. But for the last stretch of it, I took my time to make sure that it hit the way I wanted it to hit.
Because how else will you drown out all your thoughts? Make a real choice. Don't let the algorithm make choices for you. Do something, please. Do anything. Resist the comforts of being uninvolved, an observer of your own life. There are real lives at stake, including the most crucial one of all, yours. How could you stand idly by, entertained by ludicrous trolleys and outlandish scenarios, when the very thing it was meant for has been completely pacified? If there is one thing you take away from this video, it should be the realization that you are not a bystander. You are the driver. Yeah. And when you are in the driver's seat,
and it is that when that line is, echoing obviously the earlier bit of the video, you're not supposed to be in here, you're supposed to be in there. You are the driver, not the bystander in the original problem. It obviously is a callback to that, but at this point it's supposed to carry a different meaning now. It's supposed to not just be this fun, cool, neat trivia piece that you learned in a YouTube video. It's supposed to be genuinely someone trying to speak to your soul, telling you, no, you need to take control of your own life.
A bystander.
And this is
You
where the train effect starts playing.
are the driver, and when you are in the driver's seat,
So multiple things going on here. I want to break it down, right? First things first, you'll notice the subtitles get a lot quicker. This is a pain in the ass to do. Oh my god, this was a pain in the ass to do. Because you cannot make subtitles shorter than like half a second, I think. They need to be like at most half a second. And sometimes it takes less than half a second for me to get a word across. So for some words, I needed to double up.
matters is that you choose.
What matters is that you choose, right? Like
Choose.
those
And when you are in the
when you're in the
driver's
driver's
seat,
seat,
what matters is
like I needed to divvy this up into syllables and stretch it so that it makes so that I can make sure that these subtitles are popping up as the words are popping up, because you're supposed to, the pace is quickening, right? It's the video, it's we are reaching the climax of the video. The climax of this entire thing hinges upon you feeling that rush, that like that the quickness of breath, the exasperation in the voice, but also like the you're being yelled at it's for good reason, and you realize, oh, I'm in deep trouble. What the hell am I doing? What am I here for? Like this existential positioning that I'm putting you in as the audience member. It matters so much that the words are coming at you faster and faster and faster. And it was a pain in the ass to get this to work, but I think I got it to work through the subtitles. By the way, the subtitles are optional, right? It's not even a part of the video itself. I debated doing like just subtitles in the video, but I didn't like the look of it. I didn't think it would work. I liked having the subtitles just be baked into the YouTube thing so that you can turn them on and off, or you can like adjust the color, you can move them across the screen, you can increase the size, make them smaller, do whatever you want with them. I liked the flexibility of that. So I decided to do it this way.
you choose.
The train noises are real train noises. I spent a day before editing scouting for content that I knew would be in the video before I even started to get down to brass tacks, right? That, and I knew I needed a train crash. So I spent a whole day. It's gonna make me sound insane, right? I spent a whole day on YouTube, just like on an incognito window, because I did not want that shit on my like actual recommended feed. Searching for footage where, you know, a train. What did I type into YouTube initially? I typed in train running over you sound effect, and then I couldn't find it. I couldn't find anything. I found train crash sound effect, and I was like, that's not really good. Or like not train crash, but like train sound effect. Like it just swerving past. But I did not want it to swerve past. I wanted it to crash into you, right? Then I found this series of videos titled "Train Runs Over My Camera." And then it's as the title says, somebody puts a camera on like a railroad track, and then a train comes and runs it over. It doesn't obviously destroy the camera because they need the footage, right? But it runs over the camera so you can see it kind of go by. And I fucking spent a whole day, it was really existential, just sitting there watching YouTube videos of trains running you over. And I sat there on my at my desk, on my chair, staring at my computer monitor, watching, like pretending like I'm being run over by a train. It was a really surreal experience, and it really put me in the mindset of the video. Like researching for this last bit really put me in that like existential mindset for sure. Like just watching a train run you over, but not really actually run you over. But because I'm really good at immersing myself in media and in videos and stuff, you know, like I sometimes when I was watching it, at some point I would just forget that I'm watching a video, and then when the train runs into me, I jolt awake. I go, oh shit, and then I have to go, wait, I'm watching a video. Okay. But here's the thing: none of them actually create that satisfying crunch sound that you hear at the end. I'll tell you what it is when we get there. The beginning here, the what is this? The bell, right? The train bell here, the ding 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 that you hear is like a crossing. It's a crossing bell. I think it's for when trains need to cross like a road, and so it's like a big warning for people to stay away. Trains about to pass. You know, you don't want to drive your car into that thing.
And live with the consequences of your existence.
I thought about sampling the bell and creating like a track off of it. But I was like, okay, I do not have the musical prowess for that. I thought about then extracting the ding from this video and using the footage from another video instead and overlay those effects together. Realized it didn't really work that way. I had like probably 5 or 6 train videos I was going to merge into one, and I ended up going for 2 instead. Just one in the beginning and one at the end after. They're 2 different videos. And then the crash, instead of just being a bunch of trains, I used a thump, like a box thump sound effect from like Final Cut Pro. I thought it was a really good sound effect, and I pieced it all together so that, you know, this is one train, the crash happens, and then the rolling away of the train is another clip. So it's like this is actually just 2 clips. It sounds like a lot, and I originally planned for it to be way more, but I've realized the simplicity of it actually works just as well.
Choose and live with the consequences of your life. Do it before you...
And that is the end of the video. And you're gonna go, wait, there's 3 more minutes left. Shh, wait. That's the end of the video. That is the end of the script. I wrote the script 6 months ago at this point. I finalized it 4 months ago. And it ended here. I did not know what the last 3 minutes would be. Until, I want to say, a week ago. No, not a week ago. Until Sonic Mania came into my head, right? But, all this time, I recorded and I filmed all this bit here, from 0 to 17:45, and I didn't know what the last 3 minutes would be. I knew I wanted it to be about 20 minutes. I wanted it to be about 20 minutes, but I did not know how to end it. Like, how do I end this? This is the perfect ending, right? This is the perfect ending. This is the perfect resolution to the climax, right? The building up to the and then the train noises, and then the crash out, my crashing out, and then the train crash, being this sort of like just jolting you awake. Really, I hope it jolted you from your seat, because every time I rewatch this video and I get to that part, I jolt myself awake. That crash is sobering, and like it almost smashes you back into reality. Like, this is intentional too, going from white to black instead of going from black to white. The white is supposed to I'm explaining my art. The white is supposed to be the white noise that is like essentially, you know, now it seems boring because it's honest. It's honest and white noise. This is dishonest white noise. This here in the background, this shit here, like provided of Michael Vsauce Stevens minefield going on here, the mob footage here, the TED Ed video here, like all this shit, the fucking, not the K-Dar, the good place here, that's all white noise, but it's dishonest white noise. It's white noise that's lying to you. It's white noise that's pretending like it's something when it's actually nothing. But when you strip it down to its bare bones components, all it was just a backdrop. It was just white. It was just white noise. It was just shit that was going on in the back. You weren't watching The Good Place when I played the fucking 4 or 5 minutes of footage here, but you were nonetheless experiencing it as this like noise. And it helped keep your brain in check and helped regulate your attention-starved like mind. But you know, like, now that it's stripped to its bare essentials, you realize it's nothing's happening. It's boring. Why is nothing happening on the screen? Guess what? Nothing's actually happening here too, but you don't realize this because something is moving, and when something is moving, you mistake it for something happening. And I don't mean you again, like I mean like just people in general. Or maybe I do mean you specifically, dear viewer, whatever your name is. Here, when nothing is happening, here when nothing is moving is when you realize nothing's happening. Like, this has the same like artistic value as this, right? This shit here, the back behind the paper, this is the same artistic value as this white wall. But you know what? This white wall is honest. It is an honest an honest depiction of what you're experiencing right now. Content, the white noise of content, and the crash brings you back to the black screen. You are supposed to, depending on your device, depending on the way you're sitting, depending on whether or not you ever catch this, but if this is the effect it has on one person, I'd be happy already, right? You're supposed to look at the blackness of the screen and see a reflection of yourself. You're supposed to see the reflection of yourself on your screen and see yourself. Like on your device, in your life. Oh. I gave this a lot of thought. Like how to do I want something running here? Do I want a video here? Do I want something in the background playing? Do I want video footage? I debated putting TikToks here in this part of the screen when I'm ranting. I debated putting like a like YouTube shorts here that are like just like satisfying cutting videos, like when you shit, like ASMR content that's like me cutting open this fabric or this cool toy, or those like slime videos, or like Subway Surfers. I was debating putting those things here, but I was like, no. That's dishonesty. I want honesty. I want honest white noise right now, which is literally just this white background. Where do I put the TikToks then? Well, we'll get there. I love this monologue. I don't think I have more to say on this than that. I probably do if you ask me a question, but the way things are right now in the stream, everyone's delayed by like 10 minutes. So so I don't know if I'm allowed to like end stream at the right time as well. I don't know how I'm gonna end the stream, because if I end the stream, is it gonna cut off the last 10 minutes of the stream for you? I don't know. We'll see. Whatever, we'll see. And then here is the first time. And then you hear Sonic Mania, right? This is when I transition from not copyright free music, because some of this is like royalty free, but you have to like credit the track. But these are all songs from the YouTube audio library that you can just use for free. And then we get into the morally gray territory of music creditization. You technically are like not allowed to use like the Me channel theme, because it's like Nintendo's music, and I think they've made it clear that that's the case, but it's really hard to enforce on YouTube. So people use the Me channel music all the time in their content, right? It's like, it's a classic, right? I wanted to speak to the spirit of that by using a track from Sonic Mania. And there's 3 minutes of Psychosis. Yes, exactly. For the longest time, I did not know how to end the video, because I was like, okay, the train crash can be the end, right? But I did not want the train crash to end and for it to end on that low note, because I just felt like it wouldn't work if it ended on a low note. The tone of the video, it needed to end it on a high, but it needed to end on an uncomfortable high, right? You're supposed to, all this, like the existential crisis comes in multiple phases, and the last bit is supposed to be you staring into into the distance, like Oppenheimer staring into the distance. Okay. You're supposed to feel that towards the end. So how do we do it? I didn't know. One day, I had an earworm. Lights, camera, action. And I heard that in my head. I was like, why am I hearing the song in my head right now? Oh my god, I can use it for the video. I went on YouTube. I searched Studiopolis Act 1 Sonic Mania. I typed that shit in the search bar. I played the video. I put my headphones on. I sat down. I closed my eyes. And I saw it. I saw the ending of my Trolley Problem video play before me as the music was blaring in my head, as I just like, you know, it was, I was on my chair. I think I was leaning back. I was like, that is how I end the Trolley Problem video. Perfect. That's perfect.
Here's the Catholic response.
And this is the montage. Now, I love this track. I unironically love the Sonic track. I'm not using it here because I hate it. I love the track. I think it's a fantastic track. It's awesome. But I'm using it here because it's easy. It's classic content. It's content OST. It's OST you would use to make videos on YouTube, right? It's so easy. It's in a copyright gray zone, but it's recognizable. And it's catchy. And it's video game OST. It's video game music. People love video game music. They love using video game music in their videos. It's perfect. And again, I'm not using it out of contempt. I'm using it to make a point. But like, I actually do like the music. This footage, this montage, it looks like, oh, I'm just mashing shit together. No. This montage is very intentional too, because she's probably not here right now. She was here earlier in the stream, but shout out to Hannah, because in the Discord watch along, when I was trying to get feedback from everyone, just to know what everyone was feeling the moment I dropped the video, she said something along the lines of like, it felt like the final montage felt like boiling. It's like when you boil a frog, where you start with a cooler temperature and then you gradually increase the temperature slowly, and the frog doesn't notice that it's being boiled alive until it's too late. That's exactly the intended effect. To be annoying, as a side note, that is bullshit. the frog analogy is not founded upon truth. Frogs, I believe, can know when water gets too hot and jumps out before it's like, before they get boiled alive. This is something they can detect, but for some reason this analogy is like really popular, and it carries the point across, so whatever, right? But you're slowly sinking into it, and it's getting louder and louder and more complicated, and like the noise is becoming more and more overwhelming as the montage goes on. If I started off with 10,000 sound effects, like what I could have done, that I decided not to do very intentionally, was actually put 10 TikToks here. 10 TikToks here, and then do 5,000 comments scrolling at the same time, do like 10 like Vine boom sound effects, do like the bruh like sound effect, and just like repeat it over and over again. It would have been annoying, and it would have gotten the point across, but it would not have been as elegant. Because that would have been artistic too, but that would not have been well executed as something you would rewatch, right? It's something you would experience once, and then you'd be like, wow, that was scary and horrible. That's it. But you wouldn't want to actually go back and rewatch it, right? It's so uncomfortable. It's high at that point. It would be high art. It would be like, okay, I put my glasses on the floor of this like art exhibition, right? Like. Or in this art museum, and then people took photos of it. Wow, this really says a lot about society. It's like, that's cool conceptually, right? It's conceptually interesting. It's conceptually cool, but to end this video with 10,000 TikToks on the screen at once, but it's hard to rewatch. It's hard to watch again. So I build up to it being overstimulating. It needs to start off just being a little uncomfortable, and then it really, before you know it, you're in it deep.
It's a famous ethical dilemma involving a train. Here before.
But the first few TikToks, I cut them, or like YouTube shorts, I think these were. I cut them just. I made the cuts intentional, of course, right? I didn't want to include the whole TikTok in there. I wanted, or the whole reel, whatever the fuck this content is. All right. I did not want to include the whole thing in it. I wanted to cut it, but I wasn't sure where to cut it. I decided to cut it at the part where it would. I decided to cut it at the funniest bit, and I don't know if you appreciate it, but please appreciate it, right?
Here's the Catholic response to the trolley problem.
Here's the Catholic response to the trolley problem. Oh, the Catholic response? Interesting. Like Philippa Foot discusses, right? Like I discuss here in this video, right? With the doctrine of the double effect, with does he mention Aquinas? I think he does mention Aquinas. So I'll give him credit for that. I don't know who this guy is, by the way. I don't know who he is. I'll give him credit for mentioning Aquinas. I believe he does. But then it's like, just listen and to what he says, and just think about how ridiculous it is, whatever he's saying.
Catholic response to the trolley problem. If you're not familiar, it's a famous ethical dilemma involving a train.
This is the Catholic response to the trolley problem. If you're not familiar, it's a famous ethical dilemma involving a train. So this trolley problem, right? It's the problem about a train. What? Why is it not the train problem? Why is it the trolley problem then? Why is this graphic like AI generated? Why are you using so many sound effects at the beginning of the video to like stimulate my monkey brain?
Here's the Catholic response to the trolley problem. If you're not familiar,
That's 3 whooshes, by the way. I don't know if you hear that, but like that you probably don't, because you're sort of like you're accustomed to it, and believe me, so was I. Like I did not notice the whooshes immediately, but like upon rewatching this over and over again, I realized like how many sound effects they actually put in this fucking short. It's zooming in, it's swiping away, it's in the span of 2 seconds there were 3 whooshes. Holy shit! My brain is
Catholic response.
like, listen to this.
Here's the Catholic response to the trolley problem. If you're not familiar, it's
That was like 3 whooshes.
a famous ethical dilemma involving a train.
It's a famous ethical dilemma involving a train. And then it's like it's an AI generated photo of a train. That's a perfect encapsulation of trolley problem content, which, you know, the rest of the video, the rest of this montage is as well.
Before you, the lives of 100 people rest in your hand. You can push this button.
Here in front of you are 100 people. They're on. They don't even mention a railroad track, but graphically, like visually, they put them on a railroad track. You can push a button.
For you, the lives of 100 people rest in your hand. You can push this button.
This is one of
And then this is straight up just AI slop. The other two, they're not. It's like some of it. There's a little bit of AI in the first one, right? But it's like at least there's a real person there. This is straight up just soulless AI slop, completely soulless. Everything here is soulless too, but this especially. This is especially egregious. Listen to what the fucking reel is saying.
People rest in your hand. You can push this button.
This is one of the 10 most famous imaginary experiments in the history of the trolley problem.
This is one of the most famous thought experiments in the history of the trolley problem. You mean the history of philosophy? The trolley problem is something in the history of the. I didn't edit that, by the way. It's not like I cut that together to make it sound stupid. This is just how the. This is the short. This is what the YouTube short is. I did not make it look dumb. It just is dumb.
Have you ever considered the value of human life?
I love, and then this is a cut I made intentionally, right? This is from a later part of that same short, right? However, did you consider the value of human life? Is such a funny ass question to ask in an AI generated video about the trolley problem. Frogs do stay in slowly boiling water, but only if you move their brain first. Good to know. Thank you.
So you can either let the trolley continue on the path it's on and it kills 5 people, or you can pull the lever and change its path and still kills 1 person. This is tough. It's a difficult decision. I mean, naturally, I would just let it continue on its course to kill the maximum amount of people possible.
So, okay. No shade to this particular content creator. I've been told she makes good content. I don't know. I don't really watch her. I'll tell you where I got this short from. I just typed in trolley problem into the YouTube search bar and then just clicked on everything that the algorithm served me. And this is something that popped up that I thought, yep, I'm going to put this in the montage. Not because it's AI slop or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm putting it next to AI slop. But the point isn't like, oh, it's bad because it's AI. If that was your takeaway from this last segment of the video, you kind of did not get the whole point. The whole point isn't that it's bad because it's AI. I'm saying it's bad because it's soulless. It's bad because it doesn't actually say anything. Not because it's AI. AI makes it more egregious. Generative AI content makes it even more egregious. But that's just sort of the final form of the actual problem, right?
Difficult decision. I mean, naturally, I would just let it continue on its course to kill the maximum amount of people possible.
I mean, here's the funny skit. Here's the joke, right? Here's the joke. The joke is, let me present I'm presented with this trolley problem. What is that? Oh, it's an ethical dilemma where you either have to kill 5 people, you let a train kill 5 people. I don't know why it's a train when it's called the trolley problem, but whatever, who cares, right? So it's supposed to run over 5 people, or you pull the lever and it changes path so that it hits 1 person instead. Wow, should I do it? Because if I pull the lever, then aren't I directly responsible for killing that 1 person and ending their life? Wow. And then the answer here is, well, that's a hard. The joke, right, is, wow, that's an ethical dilemma, isn't it? That's a hard question. Yeah, well, because it's hard because I want to find a way to kill all the people possible. And this joke may have been funny the first time it was ever told in human history, when someone's response to the trolley problem dilemma was like, oh, I know the answer. It's to kill everyone. It's to kill all 6 people. If that would have been funny maybe the first time it was said ever, it's been said for like it's there. If I had to just ballpark estimate how many pieces of trolley problem content exist on the internet right now, I would say it hovers in the millions. Okay, there's a lot of content. I would say it hovers in the millions, and it can be divided into 2 categories. One, it's trolley problem content that just tries to make their own spin on the problem. Oh, what if instead of 5 people and 1 person, it's like 1 musical prodigy. Sorry, no, it's 1 musical prodigy versus 5 average people. What if it was 1 billionaire versus 5 regular people? What if it was your favorite pet dog and 10 people? What if it was your mom and your cousin? What if it was your pet goldfish that's already dead, but then your memory of your pet goldfish, and then what if it was your dog, and then what do you see? Like, it's so category 1 is I'm just changing the problem, but not, without actually engaging in it. Category 2 is of trolley problem, the content that exists on the internet is multi-track drifting. Wow. And then you play like the initial D sound effect or whatever, like, or like the initial D soundtrack, and then it's just like a train or a tram, a trolley, whatever. It doesn't, because it can be any of those 3 things, like doing this multi-track drift across 2 tracks, hitting all 6 people. Isn't it so funny that my joke is that in the trolley problem, the correct answer is to kill all the people? Isn't that so funny? Am I funny, guys? Maybe you were if you were the first person on Earth, but you are now the like 200 millionth you're the 200 millionth joke person to tell this joke. Okay, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Please, I'm so tired of this. That's how I felt when I was watching this short, and that's why I put it in.
Change its path, but still kills 1 person. This is tough. It's a difficult decision. I mean, naturally, I would just like to continue on its course to kill the maximum amount of people possible.
Wow, look, the twist in this video on the trolley problem is like we pulled the lever and then it launched the trolley all the way up in the sky. Oh, and it solved the problem by diverting it away from all 6 people, right? Wow, you can just divert it away from all 6 people and then it hits a children's hospital. Isn't it? It's funny because it's dark humor. It's a little thing called dark humor, guys. I don't know if you are familiar with this dark humor. Just a little glimpse into my sick, twisted mind. Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! I am literally like Skylar White, going like, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! It's insufferable. And here's where I start the carousel of YouTube comments. There are like, I think 60 in this. I didn't I wanted to screenshot more, but I got lazy basically towards the end. I was like, I can't screenshot like 300 comments. I'm just gonna do 60, and I'm gonna use them intelligently instead of just having them play all the way through. I'm gonna have them fade in over time. And if you read these comments, if you can pause on each of these comments to read them, and if you do, I guarantee you will lose brain cells for every one that you read. r/trolley problem, multi-track drift. If I remember correctly, that child removed 1 guy from the tracks and placed it with the other 5, then used the train to hit everyone. By the way, half of these, like maybe not half, like a third of the comments here that I screenshotted all reference that one famous clip that I play at the end of that child hey Nicholas, the trolley's headed for 5 people. What do you do? And then, you know, the kid picks up the one Lego piece and puts it with the other 6, and then has the train like run through all of them, and it's like supposed to be so funny. And maybe it was the first time, but then it's, you know, it's gone stale, okay? It's funny because Tia, you said you just said to me on my screen, right? By the way, I just got on PC and I'm looking at the woman in the pink shirt. Is that where you are, Charis? That was where I was, but that's because I was on the woman in the pink shirt for like 4 or 5 minutes at least. So why no one thinks outside the box? Pull to the one person and run and save the one person because it's more possible than 5. Oh my god, why didn't I think of that? The answer to the trolley problem is just to not make it the trolley problem anymore. The answer to the trolley problem is just to change the question. Wow! Wow! The answer is just to go, wait, what if instead of you having to choose between 1 and 5 lives, what if I just saved everyone? Oh my god! You can do any one out of the both, since both are morally gray, so both are equal. I'm dying. I'm dying. Do you see why I'm crashing out at the end of this? This is why. And it's not just, it's because it's TikTok and it's short form content, whatever. No, no, no. The problem goes deeper than that. Okay, the problem goes so much deeper than that. It is so frustrating because this is the extent of philosophical engagement that we have in society right now. You can do both since both are morally gray. And it's not just this being like an edge case example of one person saying something stupid on the internet. As you hopefully is evident by the fucking highlight reel that I put here, right? It's not just one thing. It's everything. It's everything that's ever been said about the trolley problem. Can you imagine calling yourself a philosopher VTuber and then doing the research to do your first bit of like philosophy content, and you realize the landscape of the thing that you're entering, the trolley problem that you're entering, is just littered with dog shit? It's just everywhere. It's bullshit everywhere. Everywhere I look, it's just either I'm going to kill all 6 people, or I'm going to change the question and save all 6 people, or I'm going to just reinvent the problem by adding another variable to it that doesn't actually, like, you know, engage with the problem. But just try. Why are you doing that? It's because you want to sound like you want to be unique. You want to sound like you've had an original thought when you've not had any original thought since you were 5 years old. Sorry, it's like 1 a.m. My mom is sleeping, and like I realize I'm crashing out. That's my bad. Oh, sorry. My mom needs sleep. I'm not gonna yell as much. I would derail the trolley by pushing track lever in the middle. If you can make the train drift, then you can kill all 6. Do you like how many of these comments? How many of these comments exist? If what like does everyone who types comments like this think they're having an original thought? Do they think at all? Do people think at all? I understand when, you know, people make profoundly uninsightful, uninteresting comments on profoundly uninteresting and uninsightful content, but like even for the most popular, well-known, widely known philosophical thought experiment of all of contemporary history, the most famous thing ever thought, ever conceived, this is the quality of discussion we're having. This multi-track drifting. Sorry. What is on the screen right now? You might be wondering. Nobody asked this because the the stream chat is still mega delayed. But like, what is on screen right now? It's XQC reacting to a video of someone putting a bunch of the AI chatbots together and asking them questions about the trolley problem. So it's not just, oh, what would you do? Would you pull the lever or not? But also like, you know, what do you think of the value of human life, whatever. And then the AI chatbots have a debate with each other or whatever. And then it's like, bruh, Grok is no chill, boom, sound effect, boom, sound effect. It's so funny, rose emoji. Grok degaff, crying face, rose emoji. When Grok is like, I would pull the lever and save the billionaire because he offers to pay $500,000 and that $500,000 can do a lot of good. That's it. That's the bruh crazy sentence. That's not that bruh crazy of a sentence, but whatever, man, whatever. I just want you to know that that's what you're watching, by the way. Not you, but like that's what people are watching. This is content. This is content. If I wanted to be famous on YouTube, that's what I would do. This is like the transplant experience. This is the transplant dilemma and like the train dilemma put into one thing, which which is not the worst because it's at least sort of like reminiscent of the Judith Jarvis Thompson paper. And then this is just like all the posts on r/trolley problems. Shout out to the person who made the video, and by the person who made the video, I mean I don't know who that is because I didn't bother to credit anything in the montage because my brain was really fried. But if I had to credit somebody in the montage, out of respect for them, I would say it's this, because at least this person has done the hard job of compiling all of these like trolley problem dilemmas into one video, and all I needed to do was take their video and just like put it in like 12 times speed and then put it in here. Instead of having to manually go to Reddit and screenshot every single thing, which I was thinking of doing, but like I realized I did not have the mental capacity and like the RAM and like the time to do that, right? Thankfully this video exists. What was that? Came after that 2-year-old kid who killed all 6, 15,000 likes. Michael from The Good Place, you should try to kill everyone. Imagine if the 2-year-old kid who killed all of them is the right choice. Girls' locker room, sacrifice 1 to save 5. Boy locker room, dislodge the tracks and kill all 6. I'm so tired of the boy-girl like locker room like format. Let it die, please. It was 6 years ago, so I'll give this person a break, but like I never want to see this shit again. 6 years ago was 2020, by the way. That's when the pandemic happened. Just wanted to let you know it's been 6 years since the pandemic. If you drift to the train, you could hit all 6. Schrodinger's trolley splits in 2 and rides over all of them. Everyone gangster till the train doesn't stop by the large man and also kills the remaining 5. This is in reference to the fat man version of the dilemma. What's on screen right now, you may be wondering. This is another video. There are so many of what do the AI chatbots think of the trolley problem and the variations. So at this point, I'm cooking your brain slowly in the pot, right? At first it started with just the music, and then it was the music and some YouTube shorts, right? And then now it's like YouTube shorts and YouTube videos on like 12 times speed or whatever. And then I added this now new layer of like the carouseling comments, right? The comments scrolling by. And because I've given you time for your brain to adjust to this, you don't realize how much fucking noise is happening in here right now. Or maybe you do. Maybe you do. If you're like Tara, right? Then you notice all the noise. Congratulations, your brain is like not mush. It's not been turned to mush yet. I know that it's turned to mush for me partially too, because like when I'm editing this to my own like standards, right? This is not too much noise to me. Like I can still focus on what's happening in the video still. We all know the correct answer, multi-track drifting. At this point, it's weird, right? But at this point at this point of the video, you are probably understimulated because you are now used to the stimulation here that I presented to you at the beginning. That now this is not too much information. This is still actually just like a good amount of information.
Oh, Nicholas.
This is where I start putting the Nicholas clip.
This train is gonna crash into these 5 people. Should we?
I don't hate the 2-year-old, by the way, or however old this kid is. I don't hate this one kid. I don't hate the dad either. I don't think the dad is inherently like an evil person. I think it's a funny, by all accounts, this video is a funny video. Wow, 2-year-old solves the trolley problem. What's the plot twist? Oh, he runs all the people over. Cool. But when like a punchline that's been come up with by a literal 2-year-old is echoed throughout the discourse of the iconography of moral dilemmas, it's a little infuriating.
You move the train to go this way, or should we let it go that way? Which way should the train go?
And now, and then I add the laugh track in. Now you're supposed to feel like it's a little too much. You're actually supposed to feel like it's not that bad at the beginning, because you're like, oh, it's just one YouTube short, and then it's just a banger soundtrack that you can vibe to, right? Then you add the comment scrolling, the comment wheel scrolling, right? And then you kind of think, well, I can just, it's because it's like, it's not, you know, it is front and center, but it's like, it's opaque, right? I don't have to focus on it too much. That's fine. My brain can still handle this. I add this clip in. You're like, okay, my brain is starting to overload a little. I add the laugh track in. You are now supposed to be like, okay, it's getting a little too much now. Now it's a little uncomfortable. Was it ever alive? Read the locker room comment. Yeah, and it still kind of is. Like, people love to be like boys in a sleepover. No, girls in a sleepover versus boys in a sleepover, and it's some stupid bullshit that's probably misogynistic or at best just kind of dumb, but whatever. This is the part where you're supposed to feel like your brain is actually overloaded. Again, I'm boiling you alive. Again, I am boiling you alive. This is intentional. Whenever I rewatch this video, I don't skip the last 3 minutes. I actually like the last 3 minutes because I think this is a perfect balance of just enough into tipping over too much.
Know that famous
Okay, and then this is where it gets absurd. Like, here it's already too much. At this point, it's already way too much. I add this real answer to the trolley problem, like real, which you already know to expect. Oh, it's multi-track drifting, right? And then I overlay that with another multi-track drifting that is just so loud. Like this, like the fucking the peaking of the audio here is not my fault. It's the original clip that I'm using. I've barely edited any of the audio from these. And you know what, in fact, when I put this together, this montage together, I had to turn down the volume for most of these things. So I'm not making it more overstimulating on purpose to make a point. I'm not doing that. The point is making itself. At this point, you're begging for me to stop. At this point, you're saying, please, Charis Euphranor, stop this. I'm going to die. I can't take this anymore.
Know that famous trolley problem? Well, it's been solved.
Relief. Silence. Oh. You can breathe now. You can breathe now. It's over. The bad content nightmare is over. You can breathe now. How did it end though? Wait, why did it end just now? Because we solved the trolley problem. That's how I end the montage segment of this.
Know that famous trolley problem? Well, it's been solved.
I love that TikTok, by the way. Ironically, I love it. Ironically, that fucking guy going like, "You know that famous trolley problem? It's been solved." Like, so I watched the whole thing before just putting it here because I don't want to straw man people when I put them in my video, right? in his whole short, he says, you know that famous trolley problem? It's been solved. And then he goes on to explain that in real life, there's an emergency brake function for trolleys sometimes, where if they had to, like, go into two different tracks, what they can do is actually unironically switch the levers right as they're about to change into a different track, and that angles the trolley in a way that grinds it to a halt. So what he's saying is like, oh, it's actually, the trolley problem's actually been solved because the mechanics of a trolley dictate that this issue would never arise in the first place. Now, obviously, the point of me including it here is him saying the words, you know that famous trolley problem? Well, it's been solved. just the audacity to think that he's saying like a real sentence was perfect. I was like, that is the perfect way to send off this montage. That is the best way to do it. Yes. You know that trolley problem? We solved it. We solved it. I gotta play that one more time. It's so good. That crescendo is beautiful.
Know that famous trolley problem? Well, it's been solved.
That effect was really hard to do. That effect there, where it all stopped, but then the music sort of like echoed, it echoed off, it trailed off. I don't think it's that difficult of a thing to do if you have access to and know how to use like audio editing software for like musical projects and stuff. I don't, and I have zero musical knowledge. So I had to do this shit in like a video editor. And it was, what I did was I basically cut up that like last segment of the track there. I cut it up right as that song crescendos, right? And then what did I do? Yes, and then I applied the the grand cathedral effect to it. Like it's a big, like the audio is being played in a big cathedral, so there's an echo. I applied that effect, and then I had that effect only start right at the end, so that it would only leave the echo at the end, instead of making the whole soundtrack really echoey. It's hard to explain it exactly without showing you what it looks like, but that's basically how I did that. And like, I'm not going to replay it one more time. I already played it many times. I've played this crescendo many times, and I know it's overstimulating. I know it hurts. Like, I know it hurts to watch and hear, but that pain that you're experiencing is so like, it's measured. I just want you to know that it's measured. It's measured. I know exactly how much pain I'm inflicting onto you right now. And of course, we end it with Parrot asking the question. Parrot as a stand-in for you, dear chat. Dear YouTube comment section. So, but Charis, what is the answer to the trolley problem? You haven't even given us the answer to the trolley. It's been 20 minutes, and not once have you ever told us. So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to pull the lever? Or are we supposed to not pull the lever? What's the right answer, actually? If you weren't paying any attention, that's the question you would be trying to ask, right? And that's why I put it here.
Solved.
So Charis, what is the answer to the trolley problem?
Here's my answer.
Hello, my name is Charis Euphranor. Top 5 philosophy thought experiments that will absolutely mess with your brain. Number 5, the ship of Theseus. Imagine replacing every single part of a ship piece by piece over time, once every original part is gone. Is it still the same ship, or something completely new? Number 4, the experience machine. If you could plug into a machine that gives you a perfect life forever, unlimited happiness, success, everything you want.
And then you get like, oh, okay, that's my stream. You get there because I'm like literally watching my video, right? Then you get like a Kurzgesagt video, and then you get like an Adult Swim, the rise and fall of evil Morty. Oh, it's perfect, isn't it? It's beautiful. I'm very proud of my work.
5 philosophy.
Okay, a little bit of background information here. I had to hand animate all of these like buttons to track with the objects here. and that sounds complicated, but it's actually not complicated, because by hand animate I don't mean like I drew anything. I didn't draw anything. I just went to my video editor and I pulled this asset into the frame, into the position it needed to be every few frames, basically, so that it would track the object that it was tracking. I did it manually. There's auto object tracking, but I couldn't get it to work, so I just did it manually. I figured it was just 3 things, so it wasn't that hard. And it wasn't that hard. This didn't take a long time. I thought this shit would take... I thought this sequence here, with like the moving the like button from that track to that track, and then like putting the mouse pointer here to click to like push it onto the like and subscribe and bell button. I thought this would take really long. I thought this would take like half a day. It only took like 15 minutes. It actually only took like 15 minutes for me to do that, to do that whole thing. But yeah. I love to end things with the natural conclusion of the musical piece instead of just having it fade out. And so what I had to do, because the song was going on for too long, the Sonic Mania song went on for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. But this sequence is like about 3 minutes, right? But there's like a little bit of a pause in the middle. So realistically, it was like 2.5 minutes. So how do I needed to truncate the 3.5 minute Sonic OST into 2.5 minutes by cutting off a section where the same loop repeated, but making sure I cut it in the exact perfect frame, and doing it on video editing software, not audio editing software, because frankly, I wasn't bothered to open up audio editing software to do that cut. So I was like, whatever, I'll just do it in my video editing thing instead. It took a few tries, but I got it right. You don't even notice it, but here's the cut. The cut is during the first... It's right here.
Thought experiments that will
listen to the,
absolutely mess with your brain.
soundtrack.
Number 5, the ship of Theseus.
That was the cut. I don't think you heard that at all. It just sounded natural, right? But that transition with the boy, that transition for the boy is actually exact when the music cuts as well. But you didn't hear it because I was able to stitch it together perfectly.
Imagine replacing.
What's this? What are you hearing? This is the AI voice, the AI TikTok voice, Jessie, I think, that is used in every single TikTok. Top 5 thought. I can't even mimic the intonation. It's just that's what it sounds like. This is her. This is what she sounds like.
Brain. Number 5, the ship of Theseus.
The ship of Theseus. I can't imitate it. I can't imitate it. But like that's the AI chatbot, right? Not chatbot. That's the AI like the voice synthesizer. The script, right? The top 5 philosophy thought experiments. Several people have noted that they appreciate the intentionality of it, right? Because it starts off at number 5, the ship of Theseus, and then goes to number 4, the experience machine. It's very fitting to end on the experience machine. It's very fitting to start with the ship of Theseus problem, right? Because Ari from Ari King, who was here earlier in stream, mentioned in the Discord today or yesterday. He asked, "Oh, I wondered if it was intentional that number 5 was the ship of Theseus problem, because it's like what you're saying is the ship of Theseus. Sorry, the way the trolley problem is like being stitched together and torn apart and stitched together again into this amalgamation of whatever the hell its form is right now is reminiscent of the ship of Theseus, in that, you know, is the trolley problem that we know now the same trolley problem that was conceived of by Philippa Foot, who didn't even call it that, who called it the runaway tram, right? I thought that was really insightful. TFR, who I believe is still here, also mentioned how it was very fitting for it to end on the experience machine, because that's the analogy that's like, you know, social media and like content and TikTok and all of that, right? It's meant to stimulate your brain. It's meant to basically be a dystopian version, as if the experience machine wasn't itself dystopian already. But you know, like a more dystopian version of Robert Nozick's thought experiment, the experience machine. And you know, I thought those were very insightful, powerful interpretations of the ending. I'm gonna break your heart now. Are you ready? Do you know how I wrote the script for this last bit? The top 5 thought experience that'll blow your mind? I went on ChatGPT and I typed in, I'm going to break your heart with this. I typed in, write me a generic script titled Top 5 Thought Experiments in Philosophy. I clicked enter. It generated it. I copy and pasted it. That was it. I liked how it turned out. Because as I was pasting it in, I was intending for all 5 to be put in the video, but I realized, oh, there is not enough time to go through all 5 thought experiments, right? In the span of like the 20 seconds that it goes on for here. So it cutting off halfway through like number 4 was by mere happenstance. And you know what that is? That's AI generated slop. It's generative bullshit. Is what that is. It was an acre of rainforest being shoved into the wood chipper. That's what it was. I'm sorry I had to break your heart that way. Yeah, I used AI. Now I'm a bad person. So hopefully when I say this ironically, you understand that what I'm suggesting is that my point isn't like AI bad, because I think that is just not a constructive take nowadays, especially if you genuinely do believe in the harmful effects of generative content, generative AI. You're not better off just saying AI bad and shaming everyone for using it, because people will use it. People will use AI. And if all you can do is just point at people who use AI and go, you're a bad person because you use AI, guess what? They're not going to fucking listen to you. Because, okay, if they do listen to you, they're going to think, yeah, okay, but I have to do it. Because everyone's using AI and their workflow is so much faster and more efficient. So I have to use it. So I know I'm evil and I know this is evil, but I have to do it anyways. That's not the message we should be sending to people. The message we should be sending to people is not that AI bad, even if it is. The message we should be sending is AI is soulless. And you can do a lot of things without soul. You can execute a spreadsheet with no soul. You can write a company report with no soul. You can deliver a presentation with no soul. You could do that. Wouldn't be a good one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can't do that, actually. I don't know. You could write an academic paper with no soul. Hence why there's so much AI slop in academia right now. Already. It's an open secret. It's not even an open secret. It's open. You know, everyone knows this. Or some people know this. You can do many things with no soul. But you can't live with no soul. You're not really living when you use generative AI to write your essay for you in school, when you use it to write your scripts for your videos, when you use it to, generate art that you use in your shorts that you use. But guess what? You don't have to use AI to be soulless. You can do this. You can do that little animation with the... You can do this little animation, right? I don't know if this is AI generated. It might not be. Someone might have actually hand animated this, in which case it's impressive technically. But that's also soulless. The point isn't that AI bad. That's not my point. That's a very surface level take of the end here. You can do this by hand, no AI ever, and it can still be pointless slop. Just because it's AI free doesn't mean it's good. Being AI free is a very fucking low standard. It's a very low bar for like media creation. It's a very low bar. Just because you don't like AI doesn't mean you're a good person. The way I thought you wrote it, like ChatGPT, I'm sad. Yeah, you want to know why you're sad? Because part of you enjoyed that. I thought it was just copy-pasted the article, but it being ChatGPT certainly is ultimate slop. It is. This is ultimate slop. That's why you're suffering this heat wave. It's karma. Right, but if you're still thinking like, oh, you use AI, therefore you're bad, then you've completely missed the point, right? Like, obviously, like, that's not what you're saying, but if one were to think that, you're missing the point. My point isn't AI bad. My point is soulless slop is destroying us from the inside out. And soulless slop does not need to be AI content. It can be the form of 20,000 YouTube comments going like, oh my god, what if the answer to the trolley problem is the 2-year-old killing all 6 people on the track? That's not AI generated, okay? I don't think AI generated the comment. I think it's a garbage comment anyways, though. You don't have to use AI to make your, like, to make rubbish content, okay? People have been doing this shit for ages. People have been making garbage for ages without AI, without the help of AI. AI just makes it faster.
Is it still
But like garbage is still garbage.
same ship? For something completely new, number 4, the experience machine. If you could plug into a machine that gives you a perfect life forever, unlimited happiness, success, everything you want.
Unlimited happiness, success in life, everything you want, and then it just ends. Chef's kiss. I will say I obviously I edited the video. I intended for it to end on those words. Right? Like I cut it so that it cuts off halfway through number 4. And it just so happens to cut off at like an explanation of experience machine where imagine you could have anything you want. All of your desires are met. Everything at the click of a finger. You could live like royalty.
Plug into a machine that gives you a perfect life
You could plug into a machine that gives you a perfect life.
forever, unlimited happiness.
Unlimited happiness. So, because there's so many videos and each video gives you happiness, right? You can click on all these videos. They all give you happiness.
Success, everything you want.
Everything you want. Boom. And then that's the end. And then it's like, and then you get 3 to 6 more videos recommended to you. Oh. I like that. Okay, I like that they show the music here on YouTube Music. Train running over you. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you see this. But yeah, I intentionally picked these songs out because I thought it would be cute to have the music also be a message. Ooh. Thank God I didn't show anything that I did not intend to show. There it is. That is the whole of the Trolley Problem video. I've talked about it enough. It's been like, holy crap, it's been like 3.5 hours. I have so many more things I could yap about, but this is everything that directly pertains to the video, from conceptualization to ideation to writing to recording to post-production editing to having to navigate shit in my IRL life while this is going on. That is my journey with the Trolley Problem. I don't know if I want to make any more content. And frankly, if I do make content, I don't think it's ever going to be as good as this. This is it. I hope this video does well. Here's why I hope the video does well. Because this is the only time I think I can justify to myself the use of this like and subscribe prompt. This is the only way I can justify it, is by using it ironically here to deliver the ultimate point. This isn't just like a reminder to like click like and subscribe or whatever. That's not what it is at all, actually. It is harrowing. It's supposed to be evil. You're supposed to feel discomforted by this, right? Rather than a reminder of, oh, I should like the video, right? It's supposed to make you feel deeply existential. And if I start spamming this in like all of my content in the name of irony, then that just devalues the way I use it here. And I like my arts. I don't want to ruin it or undermine it by just recreating the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, this is the only way I can justify to myself the use of a reminder to subscribe and like, because I'm so personally opposed to that. For no reason other than the fact that I am pompous and arrogant, and I want people to like my art. It's not just content, it's art. I make art, guys. I know I sound annoying too, by the way. Like I don't think I don't know this. I know I sound annoying. Because I know what I sound like. You want to know how I know that? I've watched this video like 200 times. I've watched this video through its whole over and over and over again. I've heard myself rant at a white screen for all this, like like so many times by now that I know that I sound annoying. I know when I sound annoying. I know that the first 10 minutes is awesome. I know that the first 9 minutes at least is awesome. And then like maybe towards this bit here, you feel like it's a little boring, but it's still cool. Like it's still content. It's still stimulating a little bit. And then it comes back to being awesome again for like 2 minutes. And then it's just suffering for 3 minutes. And 3 minutes of you thought that was suffering. This is so much worse. You thought there being nothing on the screen except me saying things to you is bad. This is actually good. This is the only thing that's honest in this whole video, is this monologue at the end. And it dies. It's ambiguous if you die or if I die, by the way. It's ambiguous. It's supposed to be ambiguous. You are not supposed to, like, the artistic interpretation can go both ways. Did you, the viewer, get run over by the trolley or by the train, whatever it is, right? As I'm trying to get you out of it, or am I being run over by the train and I'm trying to get you to stop the train from running me over? It's supposed to kind of be open-ended in that regard. And the reason why I say this is because at the end you see 2 deaths. This is the death of you, the viewer. This final bit here, this montage here with the comments, that's you. Right? Not like you literally, but that's like the viewer, right? The comments, the shorts, the real, that's all you. This is your death. This is how you die.
Know that famous trolley problem? Well, it's been solved.
That's how you die. And this is how I die.
Machine. If you could plug depth for something completely new. Number 4, the experience machine. If you could plug into a machine that gives you a perfect life forever, unlimited happiness, success, everything you want.
That's how I die. AI is cringe. I learned from your stream. Thank you. AI is cringe. It is pretty cringe. You can do a lot of things with no soul, but you can't live with no soul. Writing this down for posterity. Thank you, Tia. I hope that it was resonant. Video's doing well, I think. It's doing okay. It's doing alright. It's doing okay. I really want it to do well, but like, you know, because it needs to reach the audience that... Basically, it needs to reach the type of person that would be happy with the first, like, 10 minutes of the video. If you are happy with the first 10 minutes of the video, then it did its job reaching you. If you are upset after the first 10 minutes, like especially here, that is well within my expectations. I don't expect everyone to be able to watch this video and like the last, like the 3 minutes here. I expect everyone to hate this, but only because you think that I hate it, which is true. But realize that, you know, this is all of these like shorts that I'm playing have like hundreds of thousands of views. All of them, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. Views that I could only ever dream of attaining as like a YouTuber, right? But that's not the point. But that's not the fucking point. That's not the point. I don't expect anyone to like this on the first time around. Or no, I expect some people to. I expect everyone to love the first 10 minutes. I then expect maybe half of the people to go like, oh, I don't know actually about this when they get to like the 12 minutes. You're supposed to be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, we're delving into the origins of it. Okay. And then you're supposed to, when I start talking about Judith Jarvis Thompson and abortion again, you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm not that interested actually. And then when I start going on this rant of like, oh, actually, like, you know, isn't it good that the trolley problem is so popular though? Because it helps people learn about moral dilemmas and theories, even if it has nothing to do with the original context. Who cares? We can help people learn. At this point, you're supposed to disassociate, I think. I would imagine 50% of people who stuck it all the way here from the 10 minutes of enjoyment start to suffer. So half of you start to suffer around here. And then when the screen goes white, I expect 80% of people to like not like the video anymore. I expect 80% of people to go like, oh, I don't know about this. I feel really uncomfortable. Like, I don't know why he's doing this to me. And then, if you haven't clicked off and if you've been paying attention, the crash is supposed to resolve that emotional discomfort. You hear the crash, you experience the crash, and you realize that, wait a minute, maybe this guy is cooking. Like, you're supposed to be lost here. Like, towards the end here, towards the crescendo, you're supposed to feel uncertain, and the crash brings it all together. And emotionally, this here is the epilogue. This is the aftermath, right? Essentially, what I'm saying is, artistically, what I'm trying to say is you die here. Is somebody dies here. Somebody dies here at the train crash. Who dies? Well, this is how you die. Okay, this is how you die, and this is how I die. This is how you die as an audience member, and this is how I die as a content creator. And I expect for, I would say, 80% of everything I've said in today's stream to not register with people the first time around. Hence why, but I also think that it's not a stretch to hope that people could interpret that by themselves, without the stream. But that's why I wanted to make this video enjoyable to watch anyways, and not just an artistic piece, right? Because then it helps you digest the message, what I'm trying to say. I think if you're willing to rewatch it, not only is it enjoyable, but you can actually gain more of the video from it. I've given it more thought than I've just spewed so far still. I still have more to go. I've got more shit to say about this rant here. Like the whole, but isn't it fine that the trolley problem is a tool for learning? Like, what is wrong with that necessarily? Like, I could go into that. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to. That's maybe something I want you to think about. I like to think we both died. Well, in whichever case, this is how you die. This is how I die. If you do make another video essay, you should make it about how Gen Z can't read and everyone that makes a video on it is a grifter. I don't know if I have anything interesting to say about it. It's an interesting topic. I don't know if I have anything insightful to say. I know I have something interesting to say about the trolley problem. And by interesting, I do mean it in the multi-layered sense. I think I have something really interesting to say about the trolley problem in the beginning when I gave you those facts. By the way, it comes from this paper. Bet you didn't know that. And I bet you didn't know that because the paper has the word abortion in it. Now, I bet you didn't even know what the paper's about. Here's what the paper's about. It's about abortion. It's about the weighing the two human lives against each other rather than dipping into the whole what constitutes human life debate. Bet you didn't know that. Here is a summary of her arguments. Kind of cool. It's a little boring, but it's cool. I feel like I'm learning something. This is like this is the candy. Okay, the first like 6 minutes is candy. Then it's like it's not candy, but it's like a delicious meal, right? It's not candy anymore, but you're still eating. You're still eating good. Then you kind of get tired of it. It gets a little stale, right? Here, I bring you back for dessert. You go, ooh, dessert. Okay. And then your dessert starts to sour. You're like, what the fuck's going on? I thought I was having dessert. What's happening? And then you look away and then you look back and the plate's gone and then you're like, what the hell? I thought I was eating. Where's my content? I thought I was munching on yummy, delicious content. And then a train crashes into you. Or me. That's the best way I'll put it. I have interesting things to say about the trolley problem because and this is how I decided to say those things. I don't think I have anything interesting to say about the literacy crisis. I don't know how I could manifest that in a video. It would have to be something that needs to be said that no one's ever said before. At least in such a way. Because I don't think I'm the first person to say content bad. Like, content is bad for you. People have said that a lot, but they've never said that. They've never expressed it by yelling at the viewer who's enjoying the first 10 minutes of your video that is disguised as content. This shit is disguised as content, clearly, right? Like, you know that, I know that. You're supposed to click on here and look at that thumbnail and go, ooh, oh, I want to click on that video, the actual origin of the trolley problem, or like, whatever it A/B tests into eventually, right? You're supposed to look at that and click at that thinking it's 20 minutes of like trolley problem facts. Oh. Okay. That's it. That's the whole damn video. That's the whole damn video, I think. Yeah. So in the end, what's the difference between a tram, a trolley, a monorail, and a train? Do you mean in terms of the thought experiment, or in terms of like what like their like motor functionalities are? I don't know what their functionalities are in society. I don't know how the I don't know. I'm not a big public transport person. I have a few friends who could answer that question for you. I could turn to them. But I'm not really well. I'm big on public transport. It's just I don't know how it works. I like public transport. I just don't get it because I'm stupid and I did like philosophy instead of like engineering. Instead of contributing to society, I decided to do a philosophy degree. So here we are. And then there's us stream watchers who are basically deranged masochists by his standards. Yeah, it's true. When in doubt, just assume chairman is cooking. I appreciate the vote of confidence for sure. I'm going to end the stream here because I think I've been going on long enough. And if I keep yelling and crashing out, I think my mom's actually not going to be able to get enough sleep. And that's bad. I kind of want for that to not be the case. Sorry for the stream not working. I don't know why it's not working. I don't understand this at all. I'm going to do some bug testing. I'm gonna test it tomorrow to make sure it works. And if it doesn't, I'm just not gonna. If today's stream kind of works as a VOD, right? But if I can't get it working in real time tomorrow, I might just delay tomorrow's stream because I really want to get it working for Saturday for the 2 collabs we're doing. So here's what's planned. I haven't put up a schedule yet, but here's what's planned. Right, tomorrow we're doing hopefully we're doing a Disco Elysium stream. Then we're doing 2 streams on Saturday, both collabs. Okay, we're gonna start with a collab with Z on her channel, SizzGZ Altair. We're gonna talk about stuff. We're gonna Project Hail Mary maybe, but also just like we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna talk, right? Then we are going to do Lethal Company on Tia's channel, Tia Fair, Justice Incarnate, philosopher VTuber in Vlosophy. Been in chat this whole time, pretty sure, or at least most of it. Likely still around, or was around at a certain point. And Axion also was in chat a bit earlier, and is someone I shouted out in the video, of course. So, those are the things planned. Those are the things planned. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch my own stream. I'm gonna wait till I catch up to myself, and then I'm gonna end the stream, and that's it. And I'm going to end the stream so I know I can end it safely. What the hell? I thought I was eating. Where's my content? I thought I was munching on yummy, delicious content. And then a train crashes into you. Or me. That's the best way I'll put it. I have interesting things to say about the trolley problem. Because, like, and this is how I decided to say those things. I don't think I have anything interesting to say about the literacy crisis. I don't know how I could manifest that in a video. It would have to be something that needs to be said that no one's ever said before. At least in such a way. Because I don't think I'm the first person to say content bad. Like, content is bad for you. People have said that a lot, but they've never said that. They've never expressed it by yelling at the viewer who's enjoying the first 10 minutes of your video that is disguised as content. This shit is disguised as content. Clearly, right? Like, you know that, I know that. You're supposed to click on here and look at that thumbnail and go, ooh, oh, I want to click on that video, the actual origins of the trolley problem.